to a large town whose name eludes me, but it begins with a D, I believe.
Yeah, Dalmary. Yep.
Dalmary. Our goblin friend thought it'd be a good idea to walk up to the city watch and throw some explosives around. And our lovely Sir Cavell also thought it'd be a good idea to impersonate a knight, which resulted in both of them being arrested.
I was not impersonating a knight.
You didn't have the documents to back up your claims, should I say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Both were released. Will be kept a close eye on by the watch, I presume. Our monk took blessings in an abandoned church, met a lovely Githyaki who was brothers with his friend, so he told him all about him. And I don't remember what Roland did.
Not a lot, I don't think.
Not a lot.
There was a part where he went into a weapon shop with you, I believe.
Yeah, we bought some longbows.
I think it was an arrow head.
Yeah.
You spent an hour and 30 minutes shopping, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was mostly shopping for Roland.
Yeah.
Well, who doesn't? Shopping!
Cool.
And then we staked out what we believe might be some rebel hideout.
Cool. Good to know. Okay.
I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think you've grasped the majority of what happened last session. So,
I mean, me personally, I'm really hoping to meet the Githyaki again. He was lovely.
Stab.
So okay, cool. So as Fizzle and Sir Cavell was released and exited the building under the agreement that they were going to try and find out what was going on with some missing people or missing elderly people. In most cases, it would appear. Was there any sort of place that you was heading at that point, you guys?
All right.
It's the Krusty Krab, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Krusty Krab.
I don't know about it yet. I get all my shit back, right?
Yeah. You get everything.
Okay.
Everything.
They would probably agree to
Would the City Watch not confiscate the explosives?
There's no explosives.
Yeah, there's no explosives.
Yeah.
Glass, that's about it. They don't know what.
A bunch of fluids and stuff. They would have had to have had extensive knowledge of what his alchemic background was capable of doing.
It's very specific to me knowing what, how, in which way, in what to mix. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Okay. So yeah, was there a particular area you was heading back to the clam, the red crab shack?
Let me say this. Well, Cavell, we certainly got ourselves in a pickle, so we need to produce results right now.
Yes. We should head to the Krusty Krab and interrogate all of the elderly individuals.
Wait. Did you find something while I was being detained?
It appears there are a lot of elderly individuals purchasing clams from a place called the Krusty Krab.
Clams, you say? Should we try and find the others first, though? I believe that's a better choice.
I don't know where the others are.
Well, we should look. We really shouldn't tackle this on our own. They may have found something or be even further on the trail. Who knows? Let's make this a priority. Find the others.
Okay.
All I know is Zartan was heading to a blacksmith.
I am not a very inquisitive man. I can't find people in a haystack. Can you?
Indeed, I can. Should be able to find them. We're gonna start walking towards the direction of the last smith we saw Zartlan going to.
Sure.
That's the one thing we are certain about.
Zartlan, where was you heading after your?
Unfortunately, nowhere in particular. He kind of stormed off in the frustration, but doesn't really have a plan.
No.
So there's a chance we'll find them.
No worries. So
check.
By this point in the day, it is becoming darker again now.
Yeah.
You spent a lot of time in yourselves, and some of you guys obviously spend a few hours shopping and going around and trying to investigate this town and learn what you can from it. And as the majority of the people through the town seem to diminish, i.e. because they're either on their way home and places are starting to close, there are still a few businesses that seem to stay open a little bit later than others. Zartlam, as you maneuver around the streets, you're keeping a watchful eye of people that you pass and gaps and alleyways that you come across after learning this new bit of information regarding another Githyanki that's in pursuit of what you believe to be you, some sort of hunter. And you come across an alleyway, and just before you reach this gap in the buildings, there are several individuals that kind of walk out. They all seem to be holding or carrying like training gear. So you see like wooden hilts of like training swords. One of them seems to be carrying something quite heavy with reams of rope attached around it, and they all come out of this alleyway. And as you look down, you can see that it kind of opens up into a square beyond the alley point.
Interesting. Is it just like a dead end, or?
It seems to. The alley itself's not a dead end. It seems that through this alleyway, that there seems to be like a square, like almost like a garden area of sorts.
Well, a nice out-of-the-way area to gather my thoughts is pretty much exactly what Zartlam needs at the moment, so he will go to investigate it.
Okay. The alleyway itself's relatively short, and the area is quite dim and dark, but there are certain plumes of light within this vicinity that are coming from oil lamps that seem to be hanging around this square. Portions of the square are stoned that has been laid, but heavy grass verges seem to be sprouting from the cracks in the stonework. And there seems to be a series of dummies and heavy items on like hoisted ropes, and a series of equipment that's set up here. And you see a rather large broad looking figure bending down. He seems to be tying things up and closing boxes off.
Can I tell what race he is?
He's from behind, you think that he's human of sorts.
And does he seem to be doing anything like... or anything to make me think that there's something sketchy about this, or it doesn't seem like it's just a guy closing up shop for the...
It looks like, yeah. I mean, you would consider that he's probably someone that's finished work and is probably closing up for the evening or preparing for the next intake of customers.
And in that case, Zartlam will just kind of find a quiet corner to relax in for a moment and otherwise ignore the...
Yeah. So there seems to be a side bench overlooking this landscape, and as you sit down, it gives a bit of a clank as you kind of misjudge the steadiness of it. And he turns around. You must be my last customer of the day. You looking to train? And as he stands to his full height, he's easily about 8 foot tall, very broad, very muscular, and has a series of like tribal tattoos covering one half of his face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always looking to improve.
You seem very capable yourself. We give a number of classes, and of course, we can try and provide whatever requirements you need. What kind of training are you looking for?
Muscle.
My focus tends to be on strength and durability when it comes to combat,
Ah, my
and
specialty.
combat is my specialty.
Wonderful. Well, looks like fate has smiled brightly on us both. I for a new customer, and you for a new trainer. My specialty is brute strength, brawn. I can most certainly help at least direct you in the right direction, perhaps see what you're capable of. I tend to give authority signings to say that you're capable of such feat. Have you had any previous training?
Briefly, I did have the fortunate opportunity to train at Galmax briefly, but nothing ever came of it, so beyond the skills I developed.
Well, let's see. If we begin now, I will test your durability and your strength. If I'm satisfied, I can sign you off and we can have you on your way. Of course, there will be requirements for you to successfully be signed off as complete. I can do the first stage here, give you the copy of the parchment as a sign off, almost like how you would say a scavenger hunt. You would look for these activities. You would sign that you have proven yourself in this activity. We would then assess, and then we would sign off. Does this sound like something that suits your needs?
Well, I was looking into perhaps settling down and getting a job at the nearby prison. Do you think this certification would help?
Well, it can't do any harm. However, usually it's designated for holy nights. It seems that if you're talking about Best Day Dungeon, they are particularly tight knit. They call themselves the Weird Fang. They're a group of newer generation holy knights.
Well, it certainly couldn't hurt my chances then.
Well, if you're looking to get in with them, I would imagine that you would have to conduct some sort of induction.
Well, no time like the present to get started.
Go ahead and see. There are 3 weighted options here. If you go ahead and see if you can lift the first one for me. And it will be a strength check. Athletics.
Can I use? I was about to say, can I use athletics? Because I am proficient in that.
Of course you can.
23.
Yeah, this is you managed to do it one-handed. You're like you kind of grab the rope and you begin to pull, expecting it to be heavier, and you kind of think, oh, I hope the others aren't like this. And he kind of seems impressed, and then says, well, I would expect something of that caliber, that weight load, to be relatively easy of someone your muscle strength. Go ahead and try the second one. And
just one moment.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
I think it's just.
Sorry, I got interrupted.
That's all right. That's okay. So if you want to do another athletics check.
17 this time.
Wonderful. Okay. So you do pull this one. It does take both your hands. You kind of ease a little bit. You work your footing, and luckily for you, a little bit of the stone manages to sort of aid your footing a little bit and give you a bit more hoist, and you manage to lift it up. And he says, "Hold it there," and he walks below the weight. He kind of looks up at the rope. So just, your posture's good, but I think you need to work on it a little bit more. Your legs, your forwarding leg needs to be a bit more straight,
Sure.
more sturdy. Your back, less arched. And he walks to the side of the next one and says, "Try the last one for me."
All right. I will do so, and I will try to take his advice into account.
Indeed.
Whereas Zartlam sees mammals as weak, he doesn't understand that they have some clever ideas to make up for their weakness.
Sure. So this time you will have an athletics check, but at disadvantage. But you have a performance check additionally, given the instructions that you're following after his previous, and I will add
Complicated.
All right.
the outcome.
Huh.
That's
Yeah.
another 20.
Well, go ahead and roll the performance as well. Yeah. Wonderful.
Ah.
You literally you position yourself before you pull the rope, and as you do, you pull the rope, and it's like it's bigger and it's heavier, but it seems a lot easier than the second one you pulled. And he looks and he gives a little bit of a clap. Bravo! Much improvement. You see
What can
how
I say?
easy
I'm
it
a quick learner.
makes it much easier when you have your posture right.
Indeed.
Let's carry on. And he kind of brings you over to one of the dummies, and he sort of goes over some techniques to make things easier to manipulate given their weight. So you're using their weight against them, and so on and so forth. And this proceeds over a few sort of 20 minutes or so. He says, "You show a good premise. Let's say you return here in a few days. You go away and you conduct
Bless.
the hunt, so to say, these particular skill requirements. And if you can back these up from a third party to say they have witnessed these accounts, then come back and I will sign you off. And then we can talk about the payment. Of course, I will have to seal the application of completion, and the wax is quite pricey. And then I will sign. You will then be successfully enapt in this feat."
I happen to be acquainted with a monk. Would such an individual's word carry the appropriate weight for a third?
I would be happy and content with that, providing they bear witness at the time of sign-off.
Excellent. He happens to, let's just say, I think he owes me a favor after a recent development.
Well, I'll see you back here in a few days.
So we'll give him a nod and head off.
He might
Now
find
having a
trust
reason to find the others.
Wonderful. So, Kaval and Fizzle, you head through the streets, and again, it's much darker now. The plume of lights just sort of illuminates certain areas, and you come to where you once saw the very long queue of more elderly people queuing for the crab shack, the red crab shack, and there's no queue. It's currently closed. However, you do see barge past you a very small but speedy looking individual, and they kind of almost like nudge past you between the both of you and dive down a dark alley.
I check my belongings.
I run after the entity.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead and roll your perception check or investigation check because you're physically looking for things that have been missing.
Okay. 15.
Yeah, everything seems accountable.
Shit.
Cavall, as you kind of dart down, you see
I follow.
in the distance of this alleyway, very dark, this figure, very small, and what you can see from like the very hint of light, very wrinkly hand and elbow, so like almost wearing a short sleeve top. The frame, as you look at this individual a bit more, you recognize as the elderly man that you saw in the queue. And the closer you get, you see that there seems to be like some sort of growth, like a number of growths on his forearm and elbow.
Just out of
halt in the name of civic duties and
would like to question you, please.
Okay, as you go to speak, you see like this form look at you. It is definitely this elderly man that you saw earlier. He kind of gives out like a hiss, drops whatever he was like holding and seemed to have been like consuming, and he runs. And for an elderly man, he runs really fast.
I look at what he dropped.
It seemed to be like a box of sorts, like a small, almost like cardboard box, like the best of what could be made, and it has the Red Crab Shack's logo on it, and a series of like leftover scraps, like hard shell of the clams. And yeah, it's a complete mess of leftovers, and yeah, this guy kind of disappears out into where the main square was. So where you entered, where the well was, kind of disappears into that area.
Right. All right, Fizzle. You're
Question.
the expert on substances.
Can I do like a nature or chemical check to see what the hell this thing is? Can I examine it in some way?
The box, the leftovers.
Yeah, the leftovers.
Yeah, sure.
What should I do?
You could do
Intelligence check. I don't know.
Yeah, just standard, I guess.
Nature or
do just a straight intelligence check because it's
been tampered with.
Yeah, I guess.
It's something. Can I be smart enough to realize what that something is, basically?
I mean, you could tell that it's clearly seafood. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that it is. The packaging, what the contents of the packaging is definitely some sort of seafood, clam, whatever.
Well, there's definitely something fishy afoot here.
Really, Cavell, now is not the time for jokes. Weird stuff is happening. 1 second, I need to go.
Yeah, wasting times with those type of jokes is just shellfish.
God damn it! My ears, they be burning. So yes, I suggest we save this for future evidence, just in case we find something similar.
Couldn't you use your alchemical tools to...
Oh, it requires time.
Yeah. We need to find the others. This is clearly...
something strange, possibly larger than we expect could be happening, considering the whole town guard is stumped.
I mean, strange growths on old men isn't exactly normal.
But just out of curiosity, it doesn't need to lead to anything. Does the visage of that creature remind me of anything?
The individual that you saw running away, I would imagine the fact that the light hit his face, you do recognize it was the old man that was quite rude to Sir Cavall in the queue at the Red Shack.
I don't think I was there though.
Would you not know?
I recognize him. He was the old man.
There
He
you
was
go.
there. He was
But
rude to me.
when you follow the individual a bit further, he's kind of disappeared from sight from this square. But literally, you look everywhere else, and there's no way that even as quick as he was, or this creature was, there's no way he would have got away that quickly. And the only kind of thing that's there that could be a way of a hiding place is the well.
Yeah, I suspected.
Cavell leans over the well and he says, "Hello? If you're down there, this isn't very funny."
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Okay.
It's just like Assassin's Creed style hanging off the ledge.
It's very dark. It's very echoey. There's a strong smell of fish.
I feel like anytime a character looks down a well and the DM says, ask for a dice roll, it's either a perception check or a dex.
Sir Cavell will light a torch and mage hand it down the well.
Yep. It's a good sort of maybe 50 feet deep or so.
And it's watery.
There's definitely some sort of sewery kind of water system that seems to be below this well.
I hate sewers.
Okay.
Cavell just kind of looks up and he says, "Fizzle, we need to get you some equipment, but also we need to find the others. Let's go."
Equipment? What?
Okay.
Don't worry, I have ideas.
Give me 1
Very
second,
well.
guys.
Like a
Thank you.
sign or a banner.
Why would I need that?
So that people know your name before they approach you.
Well, why would I do that exactly? Can I just meet them normally?
No. Clearly, the way we've been approaching things just leads to us being thrown in prison. And we don't want a repeat of that incident.
Well, I'm willing to humor you, still have no idea what you're talking about. I could probably fashion something out with some wood real quick, right?
Yes, and we would need to write, "My name is Fizzle" on it. Maybe we could get you
Okay.
like a mask, something like elongated with a bird beak. You know those strange, smelly things.
The plague doctor masks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm currently wearing this, so I'm not willing to. And I point to my goblin-like looking helmet.
Yes, that's part of the problem. These cultural artifacts must be.
It's not a cultural thing, it's an arcane item. It has
Yes?
purpose. Yes, I made it personally. See, the stamp means I made it.
What does it do?
Helps me understand better.
What do you mean, understand better?
Exactly that. If someone speaks to me, I can understand them clearly.
Huh.
Yes.
Well, maybe if we get you a bigger hood, it would work out.
It will kind of prevent me from seeing very well.
I'm sure that disadvantage in sight will be paid off by a marginal increase in not being arrested by people.
Well, there are certain cloaks that provide a better chance of not being seen, for instance, but they're quite pricey. Don't really have the time to make one as well.
Maybe. But I think it would be worth our time to consider making you more, you know, less prone to being arrested.
How about not speaking to town guards? That seems to help.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's the town guards or...
Although, to be honest, I remember at some point I was wearing a mask and no one used to bother me about my appearance. Maybe it's not a bad idea.
Exactly.
Very well then. I shall think of something.
All right. Where would Sartlem go?
Well, last time we saw him, he's heading to the forge, but at this hour, he may be heading to a nearby tavern. Shall we check there?
Yes. Let's go into the rundown poor districts, or of whatever this place has, and find some lowly tavern. Though I'm sure Sartlem would retreat back to the place with the pies.
That would involve too much getting in and out of the city. I doubt he's gonna do that.
All right, let's go.
Which tavern would you like to proceed to? The Soggy
We-
Stool or the Glass Half Full?
The one we visited before.
The Soggy Stool.
Yeah, makes sense that someone might head there to, reconvene.
Sure, no worries.
Yeah, if there's no sight of them in there, we'll try the other tavern.
Yeah,
but
so you maneuver through the town. You begin your journey towards the Soggy Stool. Ronin, could you do me a perception check, please?
Oh my.
Okay. You don't see anyone entering this building that you've been watching for a few hours now, but you do see a very, very faint, movement of light, just very briefly, less than a second. This kind of just like a bit of a flicker of light, and that's it. Through the whole
Inside the building.
from within the building, you don't see any other movement other than that for the past sort of few hours that you've been sat in this sort of outside beer garden-esque kind of environment, sat next to this animal trough. You have had the opportunity to smell the foods coming from within this tavern. It actually smells very nice. This tavern does sell foods from all walks of life. They actually have something on there that's called the Zahal Special. That is where is it? It's 2 silver pieces. And the ale is about a silver a piece.
I mean, when was the last time I ate?
I would imagine last time you ate was yesterday evening, or in the morning for breakfast.
Okay. Is there? Because I don't want to lose eyesight with the building. Is there like a waitress walking by, like a server?
Nope.
No wenches walking around.
Nope.
Can I do a walk by the building?
The building you've been watching?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. So as you approach the building, again, very sort of darkened windows. You can't really quite see in. It's almost like it's been dirtied from the inside.
Is there foot traffic down the alleyway? Like, do people walk down the alleyway?
There does seem to be people walking by.
So, like me walking by wouldn't be suspicious, is what I'm trying to I wouldn't need to stealth down. I could just walk casually.
It shouldn't be unless you make yourself look suspicious.
No. I just want to know whether I kind of need to stealth down, or if this is somewhere like where people walk through that I could just walk by without being
seen.
Not so much without being. Yeah, like without
You
someone.
can most certainly walk down there without thinking or raising an alarm, if that makes sense.
Okay. And then as I walk by the building, I kind of want to try to take a peek in, but not see if I can see where the light came from, or
Yeah, I mean it's the same as you had before. I mean there were like parts of the window are like dirtied from the inside, and obviously most of the outside's boarded up. But where you can where you saw the light come from was like a break in the boarding, but it was only like the windows became a little bit opaque. So when you go to the window and you try and see through, you can't really see through necessarily. You can see shapes of like reflective like shadowing and stuff, but you can't really see what it is that's inside.
And is this on a corner or is it like in a terrace?
It's like an end of terrace. So there's like like a walkway either side of this building and across the front of it.
Okay. And I don't see anything in any of the windows. Is there somewhere that I can climb to? Like, is there an open window up at the top?
No, it's just the rooftop. So the tiling kind of comes down. It seems to be all one floor.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to. Do I have any idea what the flashing light was?
Go ahead and roll an intelligence check, just straight intelligence. Nah, lots of things make lots of different things make light.
It was a torch. Yeah, I'm going to go back to. I'm at the soggy stool, aren't I?
Okay, no worries.
So and I'm going to order some food and water.
Sure thing. As you begin to order, the doors sort of swing open. You look behind you, and there is Fizzle and Circaval.
I'm gonna hide.
Go ahead and roll stealth.
What? Come on. Yes! He knocks over the freaking bar.
I just jump over the bar and knock everything behind it.
I like to think that you kind of like stand up but hold a stool in front of you while you're standing.
Okay, that's what I do.
It's obvious you're hiding.
Like everyone is staring at you.
Yeah.
Roland, are you okay? Ronin. Sorry.
I say nothing.
Cavell, I'm stumped. What's happening right now?
Don't you remember? He's taken a vow of silence.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Have you eaten on him?
I'm just hiding behind the stool right now.
We have some beautiful clams.
Excuse me?
At the sound of clams, I put the stool down. Just clams.
We do?
Well,
have I ordered food already?
I would imagine this is you've literally just placed your order.
Just ordered.
All right. We'll
get
to eat.
Oh, hi guys! I didn't see you there.
Okay, totally conspicuous. Looks like I don't need to get that, face covering device, right?
I think you still do. Yeah.
What face covering device?
We ran into some problems with the local authorities. It's abuse.
They do not appreciate my face, apparently. Don't know why.
No, I understand.
People don't appreciate his face.
No, I get that. I understand.
Very well then. Well, let's have dinner, I'd say, and arrange some
Have you seen Zarklam, Ronan?
I did. I ran into his brother and I told him about it, and then he went off looking for him. I presume.
Interesting.
That sounds like an interesting chain of events. Well,
Yeah.
you can tell us all about it while we sit here and eat, and we'll get.
Hint. Waiting for Zarklam.
Yeah, we'll talk about today's events and.
Yeah, pretty much. So everyone is caught up.
Okay.
The story of Cavell and Fizzle is extremely confusing.
Your food comes out and they bring it to the table. It's divine, especially if you did order the Zuhal special. It brings you back
always
very it brings memories flooding back of your time with the school of Zahal.
You see a solitary tear just trickle down Ronin's cheek as he eats this meal.
And as that tear falls from your face, the door kind of swings open a little bit like whoever was pushing it open was expecting it to be a lot lighter, a lot heavier than it was. And you see, stood there, Zartlam.
Oh, we wave him over.
I hide again.
Put that chair down. You don't know where it's
Yeah.
I like to imagine Zartlam just doesn't notice him because I only have a passive perception of 9.
I wave him over. like just stand up on the chair. I'm like waving in this direction. Come on.
Yeah, Zalem tries to sit on the chair that I've got in front of my face.
Yeah.
Hey, Zartlam's tall, but that's a bit much.
Okay.
Like, come here.
So, Zalem, did you find your brother?
He's not my brother. He's a hunter sent to kill me.
Oh.
No, I don't believe that. He's so
Check in numbers. I'm sure whatever conflict you are in, you would be better off with us by your side.
He was not a hunter. He was a lovely man. He's a friend. He's not trying to kill you.
Well, let's not jump to any conclusions. Like, just
Zartlam's gonna look
keep an eye
between the three. Zartlam's gonna look between the three of them and ask, "Tell me, what do you know of the politics and hierarchy of Githyanki society?"
I am quite confident that I am the most ignorant man on the planet regarding politics.
Would we have any idea of what he's talking about, DM?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I was thinking, well, none whatsoever, I believe. Never came across. Just
You don't think your hierarchies might have changed in the last, I don't know, 20 years?
It hasn't changed in the last 2000.
Hierarchies tend to not change much for a very long time.
And by
If
that,
there's one thing Ronin knows, it's people, and this was a lovely person.
And just to make sure you don't misunderstand me, I mean our ruler hasn't changed in 2,000 years.
Huh. Sounds like you see him like go for like, oh, that sounds terrible, and then he pauses and he's just like, well, if it was me, it would probably be okay.
But if it wasn't, or if it was, regardless,
Well, if he's been elected for the last 2,000 years, the people must love him.
Rulers are usually not elected, my friend. Sorry about that.
You mean it's not a democratic union?
First of all, it's a monarchy. Second of all, it's a queen, you sexist.
Oh, a ruler. That's all we said. Well, I personally said ruler.
However, I was part of a group that sought to change that. Unfortunately, our little coup was not as successful as we would have liked.
So, Queen's assassin? The queen you mentioned?
That sounds horribly similar to an experience in my past.
But, well, not an assassin, so we don't know much about that. Probably we shouldn't be talking about assassination out in the open, though, you know.
Well, this is a completely different world from that one. I thought that I'd be fine here until I recovered my full strength, but now that we've got company, I'm not so certain how much longer that will last.
Then perhaps we should act on our matters and be leaving as soon as possible to our next destination. And perhaps we will be able to avoid this person. Highly doubt that, though.
You can go ahead and roll
I have two
while you're in the tavern, if you like.
I have two objectives to accomplish while I'm here. Though now, I suppose avoiding that hunter is a third one. I suppose dealing with him would be better, but I'm not sure that's possible until I accomplish at least one of the other two.
May be very strong, considering he was a single person sent out to hunt.
Precisely.
Well, wait. I would say we have within a day, at most, considering No offense, Outland, you do stand out. You're much more different than the humans around here.
Indeed.
We need to get in contact with the snake hand snakes.
Shush now. No need for name calling in the middle of nowhere.
I would imagine at this point it would be Roland would have turned around and said, "Oh, you mean the things that look like they're holding snakes? Yeah, we saw a
Yes.
bunch of signs that said like that looked like hands holding snakes, so it's probably them." There's a house over the road that's got a big one like near the door and a number under it, but it doesn't look like anyone's home. We've been watching it for a while, but no one seems to come by.
Well, there's
I've
probably
tried blundering in like an idiot and shouting, "Hello!"
The door seemed to be locked.
And why exactly do we care about mammals carrying reptiles?
we don't know yet. We were just pointed at them.
What's her name?
No name dropping, like I said. Or pointed to them.
Yeah. She pointed us to them, and I'm sure they could help us. Either
Shush
by
now.
finding you or
No.
finding the things you want.
Yes. Try to be
You
a
know,
bit more
constantly
discreet.
shushing people is actually more suspicious than people having a friendly chat. I'm just saying.
True enough, but still, keep that in mind.
Sorry, what did I miss?
Nothing yet.
Okay, good.
Apart from Roland just identifying the building across the road.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's also a problem in this city. We talked with a tiny elf girl, and I pick up the beautifully scrawled picture of an elven man with beard or whatever.
Yep.
And
Long
I'm
story
just like,
short, people
it
are-
appears there's something going on, and old men or old people are being vanished in this city.
Maybe
Is that-
have you thought that maybe they're dying
No.
Not exactly.
naturally of old age?
No.
Not exactly.
Is there anyone in the tavern with a beard, DM?
Go ahead and roll an investigation.
With a beard?
I think the DM knows where I'm going with this.
Yep.
That is a natural 20.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's two people with beards. Both
Zarla will point towards-
look about, I don't know, 70, so they're both old.
Do any of
So
them
I'll
have
point
pointed
toward-
ears?
What?
I don't care about that part. Zarla's just gonna point at both of them and says, "Aren't there two of him over there?"
12 what now?
Sardlam, I don't mean to tell you off, but his name is Charlie Salborne, and the tiny elf girl wants him alive. He's got pointy ears.
Do keep an eye, Savel. We did notice a change in your friend, shall I say, you mentioned? You meeting?
Oh, yes, we went.
So it might be worse than just disappearance.
Yes, what I was going to elaborate on is
Point
we went
is,
to this place, this eatery. They were serving clams and such, and a lot of old people were gathering to eat the produce.
pull out the thing out of the bag of holding and present it to him.
And when we next met one of the clients who had gone in for produce, he hissed at us and ran away and didn't appear to be as human as he was when last we met.
I don't imagine that Zartlam will recognize whatever the seafood is unless it's something from the astral plane, so...
No.
It's the Red Lobster industrial complex.
Oh, you will
Grinding.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen seafood from the bait that was sort of floundering around the farmlands near Cain's village, but other than that, you wouldn't necessarily identify.
True. I mean, if it was something from the astral sea, that would be even more worrying.
Yes.
Well, in any case, we need to investigate this as well. I think if we got in touch with these trouser snakes, that they would be able to tell us what you need to know and what I need to know. Or at least point us in the right direction.
Or the morning, in that case, we attempt to gain access. I doubt it's going to be as easy as we stop.
Well, I think we make a makeshift battering ram and just,
I said you just use the back door and see if there's anyone there, trying to be not so conspicuous on the front. It's a simple approach, maybe.
Oh, yes, I know. Occupy the house. We occupy the front of the house, and we just...
What if it turns out if it's just a ordinary house and the guard comes? What do you think is going to happen to us?
Oh, I know. We write a letter, a sternly written letter, and we send it under the door.
Sure. But what if there's no one in there?
I don't know. We nail it to the door. And
No, but the point is, if no one receives it, we are kind of strapped for time, so I suggest we just knock on the back door, see what happens. I mean, what do we got to lose?
Well, if none of those work, I do have a plan B and E.
That works for me.
That's what I was going for, yes. Right? Do we want to do that now, when night approaches?
Oh, no. Definitely not now.
It stands to reason that if you're a secret society, this is the sort of time to meet, right?
If you insist, we can try.
Yeah.
I would like some time to examine these presumably poisoned seafood with my alchemical supplies.
Are you doing that now?
No, not now.
Okay.
Later, when I have the time.
Sure.
Well, if we get some space with the trouser snakes, then they can probably get us a space.
So attempt to reason them in just after dinner. That's usually when people like to talk about stuff. Might work.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We go there and we knock on the back door, like you said, right now.
Anyone disagree with this?
That sounds like a resounding silence.
Well, those who do not raise their voice in dissent, they give their acceptance to the proposal. So let's go.
Well, let's finish dinner first and then we'll go. I continue chewing on my dinner.
Okay. So
Finish dinner.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no meat pie, but at least it's sustenance.
True enough, I guess.
Yeah. So a few moments pass, you kind of settle up and you finish your drinks and so on.
Okay. After that, I write a letter. It says, "Hi, trouser snakes. We know you are there. I am Sir Cavell, and we are currently in this tavern next to your house.
I watch him write this.
Breaking. What's the tavern called?
Let's not pin messages. This
Look, if it's closed, then we need some way to tell them that we know, so they can contact us.
While Fizzle and Cavell are working on this note, Zartlam is gonna pull Ronan aside and explain that about him needing a witness for things.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Should be less so informative, this note, more up to the point, I'd say, Cavell. Also, might want to stop using the title Sir Cavell. It's nice, but it gets us into trouble. We should adapt to our situation.
You want my drink?
Do you not agree?
I have been looking into the idea, and I think the past is the past. I shall have to... Oh, yes. Let's see. Hello, we are the Legion.
Very well.
And...
Except, there's one point.
No, you are here?
Should we use that name?
From tavern. besides hiding place, contact us.
Why don't you just visit us at tavern, have a drink? I don't know.
Okay, our drinks on us.
Sure. I think the note should be just like plan something. But
drinks on us from Commander Cavell of
oh, that's even worse,
the
Cavell.
Legion. What do you mean?
You assume a military rank, even worse.
Well, there's commanders of mercenary group.
Just Cavell then. There.
Like I said, the less it says on the note, the better. Time, location, reason would be enough. No need for biography. We're not, trying to.
Right.
It actually looks like a case. The note.
And attached to the note is the missing old guy picture. He just looks at you and just says, "Perfect work of art."
Well then, now the next question is: should some of us go or all of us go? Because
If the knocking on the door is successful, then we should all go. If the knocking on the door is unsuccessful, then it doesn't matter. So we should all go.
Very well then. Shall we work our way around the house and see what happened then?
Yes.
I have a bad feeling about this, but
Let's go, Zarklam. You and me. If Plan A doesn't work, then Plan B and E is right around the corner.
Sounds good to me.
I follow.
All right. So we exit the tavern, and we look at the house that Ronan pointed out.
Yeah.
Look,
I mean, it's less of a house and more of a storage like building at the end of like other buildings, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it has a single door on one side, and then like 2 windows on the end, and there's like a brick wall at the back. So there's only a door, 2 windows, and a wall from this whole sort of building. It's all on one floor. The roof tiles slant down from the attached building downwards, so there's no second floor. And as you approach, go ahead and each roll me a perception check, please.
Perception check.
I don't know if I can find it. Perception.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Ronan, you see that same light again flicker, but it seems to flicker from one end of the window across the room and then disappear.
Okay. How tall is the building?
Probably about 10, 15, well, about 10 feet.
10 feet?
Thereabouts, yeah. It's like a regular single floor building.
Okay. So what's everyone doing at the moment? Was it Cavell and Zarklam are going...
Walking towards the building right now.
Did we leave a note on the building?
No,
Not yet.
we're going to.
Okay.
I was just thinking of trying to contact whoever's inside, but just knock on the side window and say, "Come on, man, talk."
Okay. And is it? You said it's a slanted roof.
Yeah.
Can we see anything on the roof? Is it just tiles?
No, it's just tiles.
Okay.
Wanna climb or something?
Well, I was going to go up there and see if there was any other way in or something.
Right.
Most probably.
So.
We could just knock.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Side window, maybe.
So we get to the door. I look and see if there's like you can shove the paper underneath the door.
Seems to be a very small gap.
Yeah.
Possible.
And then I try to shove the paper under the door.
Yep.
And I do that, and
as you go to slot the paper under the door, you steady yourself by placing your hand on the door to stop yourself from falling over, and you hear the door go.
Well then,
Oh,
looks like we are being expected.
that's perfect. Let's go in.
Can I take a look around as we're entering, like
Yeah.
outside?
Yeah, go ahead again. Well, from the outside, there doesn't seem to be much foot flow. It seems to be that there's like
Even
no one
worse.
around. You can see people off in the distance, like crossing over like intersections of the streets, but there doesn't seem to be much down this end at this time of day. It almost looks like it's time for bed for most people. As you enter the room, it's a very small room. It's probably 20 foot by 20 foot or thereabouts. There are four crate boxes that are sort of like dashed around the room. Quite big, quite large boxes. And you also see in the center of this room a single wooden chair.
Oh my god, it's the chair.
Well,
That's-
I'm not an expert on how these meetings go, but I think we should sit in the chair.
I think we should just go in stand next to the chair. Worst case scenario, we're gonna drop in.
So, as you kind of clamber into this space,
Close the door.
you close the door.
Yeah, we close the door.
The latch like catches, and you can hear it go clunk, and it's almost like the door was locked, but whoever shut the door didn't shut it properly. Hence why when you leaned against it, it kind of like opened. So when you go to close the door, now you can hear the lock actually engage.
Ew. And then is.
And as you stand in this place and you kind of react to that, you hear a klum, 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 and you see these figures like stand out of these like wooden crates as they lift the lids out. And they all have like daggers at the ready, and they say, "Who are you? How did you find this place?"
Dear Trouser Snake,
Careful.
I am Sir Cavell. I've been referenced to you by Diane.
Are you holy knights? You look like holy
No.
knights.
Can people stop calling us Holy Knight? This is getting disturbing. How are we Holy Knights? Do I
You're
look
dressed
like a
in the
Holy
attire.
Knight?
You're very
Yeah.
well dressed. Your armor
Well-
looks relatively decent grade. This raises concern.
Well, we are not Holy Knights.
I
that
am
much
here
we
on
can
the request of tiny elf girl Tiffany to find her grandfather, Charlie Saborni, and to solve the mystery of the disappearing elderly people.
How did
Just
you find
imagining
us?
the whole like.
Oi,
We follow the
please.
signs.
Please, oh trouser snakes, help us in our dire need.
For one, you sound like you're reading a script. And for two,
I don't
we are
mind him.
not
He
the
sounds
trouser snakes. We are the serpent's grasp.
like, we kind of know that. He just likes to embellish his lines a bit. Like, you know.
Who sent you?
Well,
We sent ourselves.
no one in particular. We found you. We knew the name, and our friend over there, I point to the monk, managed to track you down.
I wave. I followed the signs.
As far as we understood.
Well, yeah, he did follow the signs.
And someone with relatively decent intelligence would have worked it out eventually. You say
that's
Diane meant you, told you about us. Who's Diane?
Well, she's a big lady.
Big lady, excommunicated from the Holy Order.
We only know one of the excommunicated, but it's no lady.
Well, she dresses in drag sometimes.
I wouldn't presume, but they go by Diane now. It could be a false name. I haven't really thought it through.
We only know one member of the Holy Knights Order that was excommunicated. And for instance, it's no woman.
How many are there?
Well, probably a lot.
DM, how many can we see?
Of
do
these
keep in mind-
individuals,
Yeah,
you see
Holy shit,
four.
kid.
I see 4 of them.
You see 4 of them.
Okay.
I'd like to dive for cover then.
Can I just say, like, how big is the room?
It's
And where-
literally like a squared room. It's like 20 feet by 20 feet.
About 20 by 20. And
We
are they,
run
are
through the. I leap into action and I say, we've come through the Forest of White Dreams, having been chased by the Holy Knight Gil Thunder, and we need your help.
Well, we kind of came here to assist more than I could require help, but okay.
Well, yeah, we do both. We're doing both.
I don't understand how we can help you if you're on the run from the Holy Knights.
No, misunderstand. We are here to help you with your endeavors. In return, we ask for some information regarding the nearby prisoner and perhaps entering or breaking someone out, if that is even possible. Does that make a bit more sense?
You talk about a holding prison.
Yeah, something impossible in most cases.
Who do you know that's being held?
Well, we know of a name. Not sure if that will hold much sway.
You
That name.
care to share the name?
The name we were told was Ban.
And you all see them like look at each other, and they retract the daggers and like place them back in their sheaths.
Very well.
Why are you asking about Ban? He's been missing for years. Our sources have only recently found a lead to his whereabouts. Funny how you should show shortly after us learning this.
Well, like I
It
said.
is fate. The goddess of fate has brought us together.
He has something that belongs to me, or at least knows where to find.
You're talking about the artifact that he so foolishly led to find.
We don't know if it's
Zarlem's going to just reach over his shoulder and pull out the broken blade.
Don't get started though. He does that occasionally. It's just showing you something.
And just show them the broken base of the silver blade.
We don't know 100% if that has something to do with you, Zartlam, but you know, it's what we assume.
Okay, perhaps we share you what we know.
So,
Well,
dinner?
Firstly, we are the faction known as the Serpent's Grasp. We started about 8 years ago when the leader, Ban, an excommunicated Holy Knight, learnt of an evil intent within the Holy Knight's Order. Learning of a plan to locate and harvest the blood of fallen ancient demons in order to manipulate and create a new breed of Holy Knights with greater powers. Ban had the ability to work alone and gain more knowledge by infiltrating the castle of Leones and learning of the plans of facilities, sightings, and relics and possible locations of ancient demons. Years of planning and recruiting have not been easy, convincing others of the evil intent and the lack of funds. This faction is about 30 strong, as it stands. We have safe houses throughout the kingdoms, and we rely on the common folk to act as bandits. They pay well with what we're able to sell and distribute as transport goods to and from Leones, slowing down the research of the Holy Knight Order. Last time, only one of the factions saw Ban was about 3 years ago, after learning of a silvered relic believed to have been of great importance to a holy knight by the name of Atropos.
Now it all makes sense.
Ban is believed to have been held in Bastille dungeon. We don't know much more than that. We hope that you are able to help, but before we're able to trust you, perhaps you can prove your worth.
But of course,
We had plans to break into the local bank here, cause an uproar by stealing the gold deposits, ensuring the gold would be then taken to our headquarters and used to bulk our forces, and again try and deter the kingdom's tyrant. We have mostly everything in place, and we have people inside to ensure it works. If you're willing to help, we will be able to share this information with you and perhaps work on a process of gaining support.
very, very good.
The vault, we know, only account holders have access. Workers can access the vaults to the lower levels. There are 2 guards at the main vault. Account holders are supported by the bank workers to deposit their box. There is a combination lock at the vault and a very high level of security. New account holders will be shown their personal deposit box. There are 3 vault rooms directly above a cavern, which is a 50 feet squared room each. Our forces have concocted a very strong but particular acid that will be able to eat away at this particular stone floor. If you position these in the correct manner, they will then loosen the floor to the low cavern where we can deposit the gold and make our escape.
Oh, very good. I like your idea so far.
If you have a better plan in enabling this, then please do share.
I have one really, really, really large concern regarding the operation. However, I don't know if everyone else shares this concern. We did get into a tussle with the guards, and they have technically put us under surveillance. We may have led them to you, which is concerning me. Do not know how safe this position may be. When do we act?
We have a few days. Perhaps by then the guards would have forgotten of your intent, or misled intent.
Just
Do you have
being
other
upfront.
duties that you can take care of while you're in town?
Technically, yes, that would help us alleviate part of the suspicion on our faces. This we may be still.
We need to find the disappearing old men and solve the riddle
Yes.
of these strange disappearances.
I have some training I can do.
I can't say that.
As for the mission itself, there's one thing that brings up a concern to me, and that is that stealth is not exactly my forte.
To be honest, neither is mine.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
we're horrible.
probably a good hindsight. If you're not very stealthy, or you're at least convincing.
I am very convincing, and I also can change my appearance to anything I want, if that helps.
I can be quite stealthy.
I wouldn't say I'm necessarily convincing, but there aren't many people that can meet my eye for long.
Well, it has brought to our attention that there is a single security position available. If you're able to convince the vault that you're the adequate person, then that would give us a person from the inside. Perhaps if you was able to allocate yourself to the lower vaults, that would give us an even greater advantage.
How would that happen in 3 days, though?
I did already mention to some of the guards in town the possibility of me applying to the prison. That was our long-term goal, but if we have another way in, then this could be somewhere else I could focus that particular ruse.
It seems like we can probably co-opulate a firmer plan if you're able to get within the vault and gain their employment. As I say, we have a few days grace to be able to action this plan. So, if you need other things to do...
Yes, there is, but also I would like to point out that maybe I could help you out with the... You mentioned a acidic compound that is very strong. Perhaps I could tinker with it a bit and help you out. Condense it, enhance it, if we have the time.
Believe you me, our expert sees is one of demolition and entry into difficult
I have
phase.
decades of practice. I believe I could help out. If you want it, of course.
Well,
I
if the
think at this
compound works
stage,
as
perhaps, we hold off on that until you've proven yourself more
Very well.
trustworthy.
Makes sense.
We have only just met.
I
Giving
understand.
you this much information is usually a lot more difficult, but as you already seem to have had a great vault of knowledge regarding our operation, it is only worthy that we share a little bit more to perhaps give you an insight of what we are actually capable of and are looking to achieve.
Sounds perfectly reasonable to me.
Well
done.
We'll say good day for now. When you're ready, come back here. The first time, the door may be locked. Wait several hours, and it will be unlocked, and we will be
Very
here
well.
waiting.
Should we leave a different exit or just out the front?
There is only one. And they kind of like hutch themselves back into the crates and pull the crate lids over and kind of replace them. You can hear it like the wood creaking back into place and like a kukum.
Very well then. Let's not dilly-dally here. Leave these people to their guarding duties. Shall we?
Well, all right then.
Okay.
And we unlatch the door and move out as quickly as possible, I guess.
So, Sartlam, I was going to mention this when we had some time. When we ran after the old man who was hissing at us and being terrible, he seems to have vanished, and there is some sort of sewer system under the city.
I wanted to mention that as well, but couldn't really chime in. We have 2 points of interest regarding that particular case, let's say, that would help us clear our names, and that would be the fish place and a particular well city. Perhaps we can investigate both tomorrow.
Well, my training doesn't need to be done anywhere particular, and I'm sure it could be done through part of the investigation. I just need an appropriate witness, which a monk's word would carry weight there. And I assume you'll be more than happy to cooperate with what I mentioned to you earlier, Ronan, considering the situation you've put.
With your lovely brother.
Yes.
With the other Githyanki, yes.
Yes, whatever you need.
Then I think there's no conflict of interest here.
Very well then. Shall we organize for an evening's rest at the end then?
I was more wondering if we should go into the sewers at night.
Not really.
Do some preliminary scouting before we get to bed.
I think that's a good idea.
Well, I'm not opposed to it. I'm just trying to be safe. I'm up for it if you want to.
Yeah, we're well rested, fit for duty.
Well, technically, it's at the end of the day, getting late.
Yeah.
We may be pushing into exhausting hours.
As long as we sleep tomorrow during the day, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. And I
Alright.
admit I am quite eager to test the efficacy of the repairs I've made on this armor.
Alright. Let's go to the entrance to these sewers. The
Head to the
town's
well, is what you're
watering
saying.
hole. Yes.
Very well. If the DM agrees, because,
Yeah, that's
exhaustion
fine.
and whatnot. Okay. Very well then. Let's lead the way, Cavell.
Sweet.
Should we perhaps first arrange rooms in case you come back, or...
Yeah, sure. We'll buy rooms for the night.
Very well.
There's no curfew, so
I suppose we're not exactly strapped on money at the moment, as long as they aren't too expensive.
No, I'll take cover the cost. There's no trouble at all. Doesn't bother me.
alright. Let's enter this
So,
establishment.
for the sake of brevity, can you tell me what's the night's rest for everyone, DM, so I can mark it off?
A night's rest.
Yeah,
What do
for
you
the
mean, like,
tavern.
cost-wise?
Yeah, cost-wise.
You're assuming there's rooms available.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Okay.
Well,
That's
we
my
check,
concern.
we check if I'll check with the bartender
Oh.
if there's room.
Same.
available.
the soggy stool.
Yeah.
Sure.
It says
The cost.
All the more
says-
reason for us to wait for tomorrow during the day when the people leave their rooms.
This is I'm sorry, friend, we're fully booked.
Very well.
Do you know where you send people? If you're fully booked, then there's a different place, maybe.
Yeah, it's called outside the city walls.
Wait, what?
Huh. All right.
Very well then. We'll be back. Maybe. Blast.
Oh.
Keep it.
Oh yeah, it's just so we can go back to the fucking tavern with the fucking pies.
But here's my thing. If we exit, I don't know if we can come in again.
Well, if we go to the other tavern and check, maybe they have rooms.
We can always set up camp down in the sewers, if nothing else.
That is actually very true, Zartlan.
So we'll check with the other tavern and see if he's got like a common room or something.
Cool. So you head to the.
Try finding it, basically.
Yeah. Okay. So you go. Where is it? So you go to the glass half full.
Yeah.
Sure.
There
If we can find-
is the main bar is like empty, like the main bar is empty. You can hear like a lot of commotion from downstairs, and there's a very sort of gruff looking halfling stood at like this by the bar, but next to like this big red draped curtain.
Excuse me, good
Yeah.
sir. You're the owner of the Glass Half Full?
No.
Probably not, Cavell.
Who is?
What's it to you?
Let me just. We're just looking for rooms for the night, not for the owner.
The owner's busy.
Who might we see to acquire some rooms for the evening?
Do you know the password?
Password.
Yeah,
The
password.
password is please.
Kind of looks at you. It's like, huh. You don't know what this place is, do you?
No.
No.
Okay.
We thought it was a tavern.
Get out.
Oh, some sort of rogue establishment.
Looks like we. Well, we could probably acquire entrance, but
Do you know the password?
I jingle my coin purse.
Nope. Get out.
Damn.
And he kind of
Sorry,
like
yeah.
leans behind him, and you see this axe, like small
Oi.
throwing axe. It's glowing purple, like radiant magic. It is like ridiculous.
You know, I was just offering to be a client. Now you will never have me as a client, and I will definitely spread the word from this shorty place. I suggest we leave this person.
Come
to
back
his
when you
misery.
have the password. Now get out.
Sure. Make a note. This person is not
It's
a
going to be
person.
a 1-star review from me.
I agree.
Fine establishment, good sir. I'll see you later
Come
when
on,
we
come
have what you require.
DM,
Yes.
is Roland with us?
Yes.
Would he notice anything in Thieves' Camp anywhere?
No, not here.
Probably
No.
not at the
Okay.
entrance.
Well, as soon as it is then. Let's go.
Sewer tent it is.
Are there any abandoned buildings or any sort of vacant buildings anywhere?
Yeah, the building you just come from.
But we can't get back in there. Is there any other buildings that we could
No.
potentially get into?
You
No,
can have a
vacant.
look. You can have a look.
Yeah, it's called the Temple to the...
Oh, that's the point. Yeah,
Yeah.
the temple's empty.
Yeah, it's mostly open air because like a lot of
It's
it's
half
ruined.
ruined.
But we have a pillow fort.
Yep.
Yep, we solved everything. Let's go. Sewers.
Scouting them.
Yeah.
Sleeping later.
So we'll make a rope ladder down to the bottom of the bottom of the well and the sewer complex.
Yep.
I'm sure there's like a lip.
Well, at this point, we assume there's a sewer complex down the well.
Yep.
In a minute.
Not really sure.
Let's send Ronan down first because he has the eyes to scout with.
Also,
Let me just ready one. of
He's
those
the
sheets so when
quietest.
we can do a piloting. Felicity, you're going to fall and hurt yourself. Please be careful.
No.
I will be just AFK for a minute, if you don't mind.
There you go, Caval. You have access to Roland's sheet. So is he going down and investigating?
Yep.
Yeah, you'll need to make an investigation roll.
I mean, he's a high elf, so he's got night vision. So
Yeah,
all
that's
he needs
fine.
to do is, da-da-da.
Hello.
Hey!
I
No
blacked
spells.
out last night.
So, investigation.
You're just about to go down into a sewer.
Fell asleep
13.
without even realizing I fell asleep. That's fun.
So yeah, we're just looking for like a lip or some like land based.
All right.
A 13.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, he goes down, you hear him splash the flowing water from underneath. It smells quite bad down here. I mean, the water that's channeling through this particular piece seems to be a bit cleaner than like regular sewage system would be. But it may just be like an intersection access point. It just smells really kind of fishy and salty. But yeah, other than that, he makes it down. Seems relatively fine.
All right. So we'll start lowering down more people.
Wonderful. Okay, let me just move that.
Did we find the La Resistance?
Yeah, you've just dealt with them.
Alright, cool.
And Roland will sneak his way further on because he's the stealthy guy.
Yes, I will roll my stealth for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first things first. Let's see your stealth roll. That's fine.
26.
With your investor, can you roll a perception check for me additionally as well, please, there, Roland?
Sure.
Yep.
Not 20.
So you hear a click. Could you roll a dexterity saving throw, please?
Sure.
Okay.
23.
Okay. You manage to just duck out the way as a very sharp, like scythe, like splits across the room.
Hey, what was supposed to be in the town sewers? What's happening right now?
It looks like this is some sort of
This is for the party.
automatic cleaning kind of. It would cut like big debris down to like break it down to make it flow through the system easier.
Usually they have monsters down here to take care of that.
Wow.
Alright, so
The road
From
behind
now on,
the
as I move
pathway
on-
behind you seems to be like just like gated off, like a big black gate. So there's only
nice.
the way forward. So as you sort of progress forward, I will highlight the ways for you.
That's
I'm
nice.
totally going to make investigation checks on my way forward.
Okay. Yep.
I just realized my map glitched out.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, I totally don't.
Would I be able to scout behind doing the same thing? Is it just looking for particular things of interest?
I'm wondering more if you could disable this trap, like on a more permanent basis. By
Let's
taking
not
the...
leave our mark for now.
All
I
right.
could mark it for people that actually have brains to realize it here if you want, but let's not disable it. It has a purpose.
Yeah, cutting off people's heads.
Or cutting creatures' heads off.
As you begin to pass it, you can hear like an automatic chain go clunk, 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 clunk.
Okay,
clunk,
move.
clunk, clunk, clunk.
Yoink.
You know, when we go back here, it's going to...
I'm gonna mark the location with some chalk I have somewhere in my components.
Sure, no worries.
I know exactly where the pressure plate is. I stepped on it.
Yeah, well, just in case. Can't hurt to be careful.
So you as you sort of go through this, you see off to the side there's like the water rushes down, like almost like a lower level, like a waterfall like esque type thing. The path carries on forward a little bit, it would appear, and then into darkness, and then there's like an archway sort of divert that goes up to your left hand side as you would be walking down that pathway.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, if you want to roll an investigation.
Could I roll a nature to determine?
Nature, yeah.
It's pretty much the same thing, I'm just asking.
Yeah, nature's fine.
And that's a natural one.
You've never seen these before in your life.
Oh, interesting.
I'm like, you should eat it.
Every good every person that has dealt with mushrooms knows you don't eat them first. Seriously.
But that one you might.
Not really, no. Not the decades of experience in natural business, no.
I mean, all of your passive perceptions would you can smell a really strong scent of like fish from these funguses.
Fish, you say?
Which is unusual because usually mushrooms don't smell, or if they do, they don't smell like fish.
Oh,
so
not sure.
As you progress further up to this sewer system, go ahead and roll another investigation check for me, perception check for me, please, Roland.
15.
Okay. You see in the distance there's like a grated edge, and you see a glow. Wait a minute.
I'm totally going to investigate that.
Something glowing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can explore the sewers for days if we wanted to, but
I don't think that the city is that big.
yeah.
It's big enough to have a sewer.
Yeah, it's more of a large town, really.
Yep.
There it is. Don't know why it wasn't.
Although I am concerned why the well leads into the sewer. Still.
So you see.
Glowing bits.
So you see.
Oh, those look like bars.
Yeah, ahead of you seems to be like a barred off system, but you see like a glowing kind of form in
Like-
the distance.
We're hanging around at the bend for Roland.
Oh, it's Myconids.
You get a bit closer there, Roland, to investigate, and you see this these two sort of glowing forms. You'd have to be closer to be able to see them from that distance. So there, Roland.
I do have a 23 stealth. 26 stealth, though.
You can stealth as much as you like, but they're going to see you coming. There's nothing to hide behind. You can be stealthy, but it's like saying, I'm in the middle of the field, I'm going to stealth.
I hide behind my pinky. They can't see me.
Okay, so you see these two forms, and they don't seem to be moving as such, and this is the first time you've seen anything like this. You do anything else?
I'm just gonna roll the investigation check. Oh,
Would it be
yay, an
would it be
11.
nature to know what they are, or is it like?
We haven't seen them yet.
You just see the glowing forms of these things that look like mushrooms. That's a given. As you're kind of looking and you're investigating, go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw. Yeah.
25.
You see, as you look a bit closer, and then like one of them like looks in your direction, you see these like beady little glowing eyes at you, and he goes blah, 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 and like reaches forward with this like lance looking like pick thing, and then like to stab at you, and then he looks at the other one and goes blah, 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 and then they just disappear into the dark behind these bars.
Interesting.
Are they thick bars? Is there like?
Yeah, you couldn't fit through them if you tried. I mean, you could try and break them down, but they are steel.
Yeah, would take too much time.
I'm just like, well, that's interesting. Talking mushrooms.
Talking mushrooms. What the hell did you say?
And one swung a pick at me.
Oh, so they have weapons. Great. Oh, guess.
Sounds nice. Let's keep going. This way.
This way? Sure.
Yeah.
Shall we let our people move? What the hell's happening?
Go ahead and.
Farlam's just kind of following the group. He knows that he's not the best at this kind of stuff.
Go ahead and roll
starts,
another investigation check or perception check, actually, because I'm guessing you're not looking for traps, or you are looking for traps. Okay, so an investigation check then, please.
Could I try and do that, or am I too far
There we
back?
go. Finally, something above a 3.
So you hear the sound of rushing water. You go ahead and roll a dexterity save. You do have advantage because of your investigation was so good. Sure. So you feel the current kind of drag you. You almost lose your footing, but you manage to kind of like re-sit where your feet are, as clearly the route ahead just goes down into like a pool of rushing water.
I informed the group of such.
Huh. We could jump down. I got
No,
that.
thank you.
A regular person, I mean, even for Roland looking down, it you can see to so far, and then it just disappears into darkness. All you can hear is the flowing of rushing water.
I'm like, well, if you want to jump further than 60 feet, be my guest.
That would be painful.
Well, let's go down this way then.
Does it look like there's a ladder? Is it
One
traversed?
moment. I have to try and sort everything out.
Okay.
So as you turn back, the road ahead of you, this
Oh,
sort of
fuck!
this form like waddles out of like the road behind you, and you just see this like weird jelly form like moving its way towards you. I will need you to now roll initiative.
Oh, blast! What color?
We're just lucky nobody walked into that thing.
Yeah. What color is it? Is it greenish, whitish?
It looks greenish, as far
Okay.
as you can tell.
A familiar green set. Let's see. How do I even? I click
Ooh,
on
I'm
myself.
rolling good.
This is gonna suck.
I got a 5.
I mean, you might still be going before it. Let's wait.
While that's all setting up, give me a sec.
No, it rolled well.
Well, see you next fall.
Still, still only goes before you, not before anyone else.
I know what I'm doing.
Killing it?
Bonus action, disengage if it's too close.
No, it's over 10 feet.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grapple it.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get far away and shoot it with my bow.
Question is, do you want to go towards the trap, towards the 2 dead ends, or the bar with people that might shoot you?
Probably towards the bar since they left.
How low can you go? How low can you go?
Well, with my 18 dash, probably pretty low.
Capital idea, old chap. Where's my 11? Ah. Shit.
Oh well. I'm gonna have to go pick up the car now. I'll be back in 30 minutes ish.
Oh.
Zartlam, you keep the fort.
Got it.
Okay. Well, everyone but Fizzle looks like.
I am a 5.
Okay.
Cavell is off
So-
to get his car.
Oh, is he already just run off, is he?
Yep.
No worries.
He said he'd be back in about a half an hour if we're still playing.
Okay. In that case, we will.
It's a big creature.
It's alright, he'll get eaten by the cube.
The cube!
For now, it might just have to be if I could ask you, Zartlam, just to do any rolls or whatever for him as this particular bit. should be.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so as you kind of all went down that one pathway intersection, you realised that there was rushing water. You turn around, and standing right in front of Circaval was a gelatinous cube.
Blast.
Everyone knows what a gelatinous cube
Everyone knows
looks
what
like.
this is. They're familiar with being in sewers and usually being a good way of cleaning out sewer systems.
And they're easy to outrun, so they're relatively safe.
Yeah. This one's currently blocking the route ahead of you and to the side of you.
Now, outrun as long as you don't get ambushed.
So, Zartlam.
Alright. Heartland's gonna come up to this thing and looks like gelatin, so he's gonna try and cut it into.
Okay.
And because we're finally level 5, I have 2 attacks now.
Yay.
Nice.
22 and a 16.
Okay. They both hit.
And I get to re-roll on those 2.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 of the dice.
So I don't know once.
Alright, so the 2 stayed the same, but the 10 stays the same, but the second attack would become a 13.
Okay.
So 23 total. This was my non-magical weapon, though.
Yep.
Don't know if that applies here or not.
Anything else?
Yes, as a bonus action, he's going to splay his hand out past this thing as a glowing image of his broken sword appears, but with its blade intact as he casts Spiritual Weapon.
Oh, dang.
And we'll have it strike it from behind.
Okay.
And I know that a Spiritual Weapon can't give flanking, but does it get flanking from me being on the?
No.
All right, just checking.
Weird.
Some DMs do, some DMs don't. 12.
12 hits, yeah. Very
This
slow,
thing's super
very
easy
easy.
to hit.
Easy to hit, yeah.
Oh,
Max damage.
Nice.
Yeah, my charisma is not quite as high as my strength. But hey, it's a bonus action attack.
Okay. So, Ronin, even.
So I'm going to engage it. I'm going to pull out my whip, but I'm just going to punch it loads.
Okay.
This is gonna hurt.
Uh,
11.
And 11 does hit.
For 7 damage.
Okay.
I shake my head as he punches it.
Okay.
And 8.
Yep. And
Oh, you got a bonus action punch it?
Yes, I will bonus action punch it. Thank you.
punch, punch, punch.
Punch for a 19.
And don't forget about your stunning strike.
Other way thing, probably.
No, and then I'm gonna run away.
okay. So, as your fists punch this beast, you do take 9 points of acid damage.
Okay.
You physically touch this beast, and it's clearly got some sort of acidic properties to it.
Correct.
9 points.
Yep. Sorry to say that 2 of those were max damage.
And
Okay,
one
At
of
least
them
the third one
minimum.
was minimum.
Yeah. Okay. Rolen.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move up here, and then I'm gonna shoot the cube with my bow.
Okie doke.
I will do it sharpshooter. Yes, I do. Here we go. No, an 11 hits. So 18 piercing and 8 sneak.
Okay.
So 26 damage.
Nice.
Yeah, and as a bonus action, I'm just gonna move further back. Do 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 do. Yep, that's my turn.
Okay. Circa Val.
Alright. This thing would be big enough to envelop 2 medium creatures at once
Oh yeah.
if it tried to. Alright, so yeah. Cavell will go ahead and circle around this thing then, and next to the spiritual weapon and strike it from.
Okay.
Wow, 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 wow.
Does he get flanking, or is this thing just straight up immune to it?
He
Because-
gets flanking. I think. Yeah. I
Okay.
think he should be fine.
Wasn't 100% sure, so I just wanted to double check. As he does not have extra attack because he multi-classed, so
Smack it.
just gonna go ahead and smack it with his longsword.
Yep.
For
Advantage
8
just in
slashing
case.
damage.
Okay.
Oh, right. I totally forgot to roll that.
Maybe not 20. Come on, not 20. Oh,
Nope.
Okay.
I
as for
wonder
his-
what's happening to your weapons as you slash it.
Some slimes damage weapons, some don't, so we'll find out after the fight.
Yep.
As for his bonus action, yeah, no, he's gonna save his action surge. This thing, we're not in particularly dire straits yet, so
this could be baby slime. Mama slime could be behind the corner.
he's gonna look over at Fizzle and say, "Step lively, man! Don't just lag about," and give him a die of inspiration.
Oh,
Cool.
okay. I don't really make attacks, but
Okay. So the Atlas cube
No, but you might need it for saving throws.
yeah, true enough.
will move into this space here, and will attempt to engulf you, Zartlan.
Oh my.
One second, I just realized my hit points were maxed out, so let me fix that.
This one, yeah, I think the 4 squares. I think you might also be in that range there, Fizzle, because he's considered large.
I assume that there's a saving throw for that.
Yes, there is.
I think I am.
Yeah, so yeah, you both dexterity saving throws.
Oh god. Looks
Well,
like I
at
am
least
gonna
you're
need it.
inspired.
Looks like I am gonna need it. Where's my
And
thing?
it is at disadvantage because he's in your space.
We have disadvantage?
It says, but a creature does. Hold on, wait. Cube takes up an entire space and enters the space, but the creature does not. It does. Is
I believe it's a
subjected to
disadvantage if
cube
we walk
engulf.
into it.
Oh, is subjected to the golf and has disadvantage on saving throws. Creatures inside. Blah, blah, blah.
No, it's probably because restrained condition. If it happens.
It's
Probably
the
that's what
ooze cube. So it says The cube takes up an entire space. Other creatures can enter the space, but the creature that does so is subjected to the cube's engulf and has disadvantage on saving throws. Creatures...
Yeah, that's if we enter its space. If it uses engulf on us, the slaving throw should be
Sure,
irregular.
no worries. Okay, good to know.
So is it a
I thought I
D6?
was reading
Your
that wrong.
D6 fizzle?
And
Yeah.
speaking of saving throws, I'm Zartlim's going to go ahead and use his
17.
Fortune's Grace to reroll that.
Yep. Okay.
Am I spit out with the 17?
Probably. Nope, didn't help at all.
Damn it.
Okay.
So what happens?
You get pushed 5 feet back there, Fizzle.
Okay.
So you're outside of its reach. Well, not reach, but
immediate vicinity.
Yep. Ooh.
How do I even?
3d6.
You might not want to huck acid at it. Just out of
Yeah,
curiosity.
I'm thinking the same thing because it looks like a blob of acid to me. I'm looking at.
And if anyone would know that, it would be the alchemist.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, let's see. The monk punched it, and then his hand was like.
Yeah, true enough. That's what I assumed, so I didn't bother asking because.
Yeah, my hands melted away.
Can I heal him after this?
Okay, so I'm just editing that so when I do this, it gives the damage and the acid damage. So it's 15 points of acid damage to use that way.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, these things really hurt when you get stuck in them.
Yeah, I'm still good.
Yeah,
Okay.
but still 15 points is 15 points.
And that's the end of its turn for now. If you start your turn at the start of your next turn, you'll take that 20 acid if obviously whatever.
As a note, though, when it moved forward to engulf, would Cavell get an attack of opportunity?
Yes, he would have.
Let's see what happens. 21.
Yep.
Max damage.
Yay.
Nice. That's what you call an opportunity attack.
Okay. Good to know. Fizzle.
Alright, this is a bit disconcerting. I shall attempt to throw a exploding potion to the side so I can try and nick the corner of this thing without hitting the person inside. At least I'll try. Well, I designate the location, see if it works. I designate this location.
If you are trying to pinpoint a particular area, you will
No,
have
that's-
disadvantage.
No, it's not an attack. I just
Okay.
say a location, and it makes it this save because it happens to be in that location. Unless, like, the slime shares damage with Zartan, should be fine. Alchemical fire.
Well, even if I'm within the radius, I'm currently encased by the cube, so...
Pretty low damage, though.
If anything, it would likely buffer me from damage.
I don't know, not certain. So I will just
Oh,
attempt to.
this thing has great dexterity saves, by the way.
No, it doesn't.
But
I
it's
was
only-
being sarcastic.
But it's only 3 damage, so.
Okay, so just making sure.
Is that minimum damage?
No,
Almost.
it's 1 more. On 2 dice, the minimum is 2. I got 3. I don't know. Shit roll. Better than nothing, because it could have made the same. So, with the bonus action, I shall make a swift step potion.
I'm not sure how it works. I always thought that gelatinous cubes, they still take the damage from inside the thing as well.
I have no, like, actual knowledge
I don't think there's any real rulings on that. That's entirely DM's decision.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I think we'll skip that because you're going to take enough damage in there inside it. So yeah, it takes the 3 fire fire damage.
What else are you gonna do on your turn, Fizzle?
Like I said, bonus action Swift Step Potion. I'm gonna make it for this turn. I would like to, regardless, I would like to try and run away. So 5, 10, 15,
That's what I was
20.
thinking, yeah.
25. I'm gonna stand over there without leaving. I can't really leave its
okay.
area of effect right now, but I'm gonna reposition myself so I'm not at the edge of a cliff at least.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's my third movement action, bonus action.
Okay. Good to know.
Good, you're right next to it. That's good for me.
Zartlam.
I was next
Well,
to the entire time.
I'm inside this thing, and I have a two-handed sword in my hands.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna thrash around.
So you do take the 20 acid damage from before.
Wasn't it 15?
From starting your turn inside.
Is it? I thought it was on its turn. My bad.
Well, it says and takes whatever acid damage at the start of each. Oh, of the cubes then. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay, my bad. I didn't read that right. Cubes and go from cubes.
Alright, so, but yeah, I'm just going to, because that would be kind of brutal if you took it before you had a chance to get out. But regardless, I'm not going to attempt to get out. I'm just going to swing around my sword inside it. So
okay.
I am restrained, so that's a disadvantage, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Luckily, these things are not hard to hit.
At least Zartlam would give me sneak attack as his
Two
attack.
12s.
Nice. Yep.
Does the 12 hit?
Yep.
11 hit
super
earlier.
easy to hit.
And I am going to,
It probably has an armor class of like 8.
Probably.
and I'm going to put a dominating smite into one of these to see if this thing is affected by psychic damage or not.
Mm-hmm.
Is it smart enough to be affected?
And I get to reroll one of those d6s.
Okay.
So,
Just level 1 for the divine dominate smite.
That's okay. Good to know.
Ooh, good damage on it though. Here's hoping it's not completely immune to it. So the be 11 and 14, so 25 slashing damage and 14 psychic.
Yeah, so you literally are like thrashing around inside it, and like it's almost you can feel the fluid inside is like quite stiff and firm. And as you're slashing around inside it, it's almost like swirling jelly in your mouth. It becomes more like fluid rather than like a firm sort of gelatin, and you just see like it lose its expanse and begins to like just like deflate and starts to spill all this fluid, and it kind of then just trickles away with the running water, and it's dead.
So I literally just ripped this thing apart from the inside.
Pretty much. Literally had 26 hit points left, so it's like, yeah.
So just steps out of it, acid streaming off him.
Yeah.
Well, that was brace.
How does the acid affect his armor?
It does, but it just seems to be okay for now. You can see it like
It's
fizzing
probably
off, like it
cleaned
literally is
Yep.
fizzing. Like you can see it just like oxidizing, like fizzing. If anything, any remnants of rust, even though there wasn't like any really, have completely gone.
nice.
If anything got damaged, it was probably the leather padding on the inside.
Yeah. Okay, so how do you proceed?
Well then, we either,
That was fun.
well, like I said, Cities keep monsters to clear out the trash. It's not uncommon. Should we? Well, from what I see, is either attempt to scale down the way the sewage exits,
I mean, it's
or
a 10-foot drop.
or pointless attempt to deal with the bars in the back. They may be a release mechanism. Highly unlikely, though.
I didn't see any over there.
I suspect there is none.
In case we run into any more of these things, Zartlim is also going to go ahead and cast an Armor of Agathis on himself, because that lasts an hour, so that should be plenty of time.
Yep, okay.
Well then, care to scout ahead, Roland?
Sure. Just climb down here.
It's literally like a 10-foot drop, so you can literally easily
It's like minimal effort.
drop down.
Dropping down is not a problem. We just watch there as it sneaks by the corner and see what it says.
Yeah, I'm just seeing how far down it is. I motion you guys forward. It's like a 15, 20-foot drop.
Yeah.
Zartlim's just going to jump down.
Yep.
Gonna wait for them to clear some way and then I'm gonna go down.
No worries, sure thing.
The fun thing about the Heavy Armor Master feat is you can pretty much negate any damage from a 10-foot drop or less. Anything less than a 20-foot, really.
Unless they roll a 6 on the fall damage.
Even then, you're only taking half of it.
Yeah,
Because bludgeoning.
non-magical specifically.
I mean, unless you land on something magical, I suppose.
You fall and you land on a magical dagger. Take this much piercing damage instead.
On the plus side, you now have a magical dagger. Up your ass.
You smack into the ground and take this much magical bludgeoning damage. Wait, why is it magical? Because you landed on an earth.
You fall and land on a water elemental.
That's a possibility. Spins you around and throws you back up.
No, even better. You fall and you land on a sewage elemental.
Oh god.
You say, oh god, like you don't know if it's a thing or not.
Well, it's just a water elemental in a sewage.
Yeah.
I do, as you've been down here and you've come sort of through here and you've battled your first thing, I do need you to all make Constitution saving throws.
Oh god.
Okay.
Yeah, I fail.
Okay.
As a point of note, as a paladin above 3rd level, I am immune to disease if it has to do with...
Yeah, okay, it's good to know.
Shit.
Bless you.
Oh, I should make one for Cabell.
Bless you.
Probably fine.
Good to know. So yeah, you all make your way down from the raised level, and you kind of see this curvature in this tunneling system. The water now is a lot darker and more sort of sewage than the water on the above ground, where you've come in from like the cleaner water from above. So it's now a lot more sort of dark, stinky, like it's definitely sewage.
Bleh.
I look at the goblin and go, "Hey, you're home."
Excuse me. When have I ever lived in a freaking sewage system?
I just start laughing as I walk forward.
Very funny. You don't me making such remarks about your home regardless if I don't know where you live.
I wasn't making a joke about where you live. I was making a joke about your race.
What race is that?
Goblin.
I throw an exploding potion at a random location. So, what race is that?
Green skinned starts with a G, ends with Blin.
What?
Gnomeblin?
Gnome Blin.
Yeah, that works. You're a gnome Blin.
I believe you should keep your eyes on the road, elf friend.
Okay, so as you progress through, the road comes to, or the tunneling system comes to like a T-junction in the sewer system. It goes off to the left and the right and continues ahead.
I'm purposely not stepping in the sewage water. I'm just stepping in on the platform for as long as I can.
If you, it kind of curves around in a big circle, so
Wait, what?
you would be like it's almost like domed in the way that the wall thing. So it's not really like a side pathway as such.
I'm like, I think this way leads to the other water that we saw before. Because this is roughly about the same square footage it took me to get to the edge last time. Just
Oh.
haven't counted.
We can certainly look.
I take a look down here.
I'll take a look on the other one.
I just sit at the corner again.
You.
But I'm sort of like SWAT style with my longbow.
Actually, let's both have your perception checks as you are looking. If you're looking for traps, it will be investigation instead.
Can I do both? Can I look for people and traps?
I got the perfect theme song for.
Well, do whatever you're doing first, and then we can make a decision based on the outcome. So, Ronin, you see like an opening to this room. There we go. And there seems to be like these three glowing kind of things in the room.
Do they look sentient?
It's hard to tell.
Glowing things.
Hey,
Can I
Crystal, you're...
do an investigation check for traps and...
You can do. Roland, you see that this road continues, and you can hear the sound of rushing water as well.
Yeah, it goes where I thought it did. Good.
It does continue. It seems to be like a small kind of, again, another intersection. Continues further or goes off
And a
to the side
waterfall
bit.
there again.
Yeah, that's what you would ascertain from the rushing water.
Well,
and then I look at Fizzle and go, I'm not a Janelf. I'm not a goblin. I'm a Genome. And you've been gnomed.
I'm back.
oh, good things. We haven't done much. I just thought the thing.
I'm just going to be like, guys, hey, guys, there's some glowing things over here.
Probably some more mushrooms.
There's a waterfall over here.
And all I used up, Cavell, was one of your points of inspiration.
Sweet. All right.
Which saved a goblin from failing a dex save.
Well, that's what inspiration is for. What did you find, Ronan? And I rush up.
Oh.
I probably wouldn't do that, but okay.
Let's pick a direction.
It looks like a really ornate-looking fungus.
Ornate fungus, interesting. Well,
Watch out, some fungus attack you with picks.
this way is roughly in the direction where Ronin saw those shroom creatures, and that's an unknown direction. Which one do we want to head?
Is this just like a room? There's no other way out.
It seems to be like an opening floor. It just seems to be like a room. You can hear from within the room there's rushing water, but you can't quite see from the outside where it's coming from.
I'll mage hand my torch up and send it into the room.
It lights up. This particular room seems quite well lit from these glowing like fungus anyway.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
But you to sort of see
I think
the cortex of the room,
it with his torch.
you would have to enter the room to see like the cortex of the room.
Yeah. So
you can always strike it with mage hand.
Yeah, I mean,
Seeing most of the majority of the group going this way, Zartlam will start heading this way as well.
Yep.
I'm perfectly fine where I am.
Like flies.
You do hear the sound of rushing waters clearer, as there seems to be like a small like waterfall like off in the distance of this sort of like
further
thing.
down here.
Yeah, and as you enter the room further, could you all roll another perception check?
An aboleth.
12.
An ancient aboleth in a sewer. God damn it.
I'm not a elf. I'm not a goblin. I'm a gnome. And like, be careful of the goblin in the room.
You said?
Yep.
Oh my god.
They're a bit far away though.
Okay, so as you enter the room, you kind of looking around, and one moment. Where is it? There. This sort of like shadow like flicks across the room, and so Caval, you receive
Oh shit.
a whip right across the face. Does a 15 hit?
No.
You see this sort of like form like flash across your face as this like green oozy tentacle flips in front of you. I need you all to roll initiative once again.
The hell did we find this time?
A whip.
Fungus. What else?
A sentient whip.
That sounds troublesome.
What the fuck is that?
I am rolling really good tonight.
I don't mind going last.
A floating something.
Out of character, I think I know what that is. In character, I don't think my character would know.
Mm-mm.
I just assume it's the fungus.
Looks like a dog with plant parts. I don't think I've seen one before.
I don't know.
Can I get it off my phone, please? Can I clean it?
No.
Oh, please.
Sorry, it's stuck on there, darling. I need a wipe. I'll clean it later. Yes, it is.
What? Oh.
Just confirming my guess
Yeah,
without metagaming.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I also think I know what it is, but I'm not metagaming either.
I have no idea, so.
So you see this whip across your face, and you kind of like, you look, and this creature crawls out, and before you have time to react, another whip across with another. Does a 16 hit?
No.
So these two lashes of tentacles kind of whip towards you. Fortunately for you, missing you. And hold on one moment.
Does it have 3 or 4 legs?
It's kind of hard to tell from where you are, but it
Okay.
does have 4.
Okay.
Bipedal.
What's that?
Quadruped.
Yeah, she's that.
So
Cavel's the tank of the group.
So dog with lashes is like not too far away from the description.
Okay. I don't really want to do this, but I'm gonna have to roll them as well.
Shit.
Well, that sounds like the group is gonna move as well.
Yeah, Just about. Okay.
Well, maybe not move, but at least act.
Okay, Sir Cavell's your go. How do you react?
Sir Cavell yells out, "For the king!" And I give inspiration to Roland as I take the dodge action and hunker
Roland?
down with a shield and torch.
Just out of curiosity, what's the range on inspiration?
It's long range, I think 60 feet.
60 feet, yeah.
Alright. I knew it wasn't going to be like 30, but I wasn't sure if it was like 90 or 120, something ridiculous. Like,
You can't
Okay.
inspire me.
Anything
but
else
can
from you?
inspire everyone else.
I take the dodge action, that's it.
Okay. Kind of maneuver its way around you.
You
and
can't do that!
Looks still maintaining eye contact with you. It does still attempt a lash at you. I'm guessing is it an automatic miss when you take the dodge?
No,
Or is it just
disadvantage on attack.
Disadvantage.
Right, so
Does it move outside of my threat range?
No, it doesn't. So it's still within 5 feet of you, but
Alright.
it is within range of someone else. So the first attack at you,
Shit.
and the second attack seems to, as it whips, you see these tentacles whipping around. One whips in one direction, one whips in the other. So does bloody hell, double 18. Does an 18 hit?
Who?
Sir Cavell.
No, I'm 19 AC.
Oh, you are lucky, because that was a double 18 as well. And Fizzle, at you, does a 19 hit?
Yeah, 19 hits.
Okay, so you take 9 bludgeoning and 3 piercing.
Ouch.
So that's 12 damage total. And you are currently grappled.
Oh, shit.
Fizzle.
Oh, that's kind of bad.
Yep.
Not really strong enough to break the grapple.
Well, are you just grappled, or are you also restrained?
Just grapple, probably.
And is restrained until grapple ends.
Well,
Ouch.
that means pretty much I'm fucked because I can't get out of that. So I'll just bloody throw a acid potion at it.
Okay.
Because I'm not strong enough to break through this thing.
Sure.
Okay, 1 second. Dex save of 16. Where's the goddamn thing? Healing, acid. That's a 16 DC or 16 damage. That's a good roll. Hopefully, this one is not resistant to acid.
Nat 20.
God damn it. Wasted a good roll. Right, I'm gonna make another swift step potion.
Okay.
I'm assuming a minute has passed since we got here.
Yeah, about that. With the investigations and such.
And I can't move, so yeah, I'm forced to stay here.
Sorry, I've sent that to Maltz.
Because I'm restrained as well. Can I? I'm like, get me down from here!
Okay. Zatlam.
I'm basically a pint-sized bite to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is 30 feet quite enough to reach?
I'd say so.
Alright, then I'm going to come up, and I would like to specifically target the tentacle that's grappling Fizzy, and try to cut him free.
Okay.
So since it's a called attack, is that at disadvantage?
Yeah, because you're targeting a specific area.
Oh, that was a nat 20 on the other side.
Damn it!
It's still a 22.
Okay, you do hit.
I get to reroll both of those dice.
Double two. The last. Same thing, I think. No, one more.
No, one more. So 10 slashing damage on the first hit.
Okay.
And then I hit my second swing.
Mhm.
Oh, I forgot the disadvantage. One moment.
Roll higher. It's higher.
Does a 20 hit?
A 20 does hit, yep.
For 13 more slashing damage on that tentacle.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. As you attack it at its tentacle, it kind of like does like give out like a growl and kind of throws Fizzle
To the ground.
to release.
Thank you.
Try picking on someone your own size. That's it from.
Okay.
Always the little ones they pick on. What have I done?
Being a goblin. Dun dun dun.
Get it.
I don't know.
In the other campaign, I used this character. There was an evil character that used to wield telepathy. He would use message to whisper goblin in my head, and I would keep throwing random potions, and no one would know why. It was just ridiculous.
That's it for my turn. I don't have a bonus action. I think the DM may have stepped away for a moment.
Sorry, no, I'm here.
Possible.
Sorry.
Probably
Yeah,
ridiculous.
okay, Ronin.
I'm going to pull out my longbow.
Okay.
And as a bonus action, I'm going to use my Kensei shot. And then take 2 shots with the longbow. 12 and 24.
24. Yep, hits.
There's a 12 miss, I take it.
Hold on. Just remember where just put your bloody sheet down again. 14 does is its AC, so yeah, it would miss.
12.
So what was that?
The 12 does miss.
12 misses, okay. So 7 points of damage plus 1d4. Another 3.
10.
This is why I love the two-handed fighting style, because it's just like, oh, I never deal less than double digits of damage.
Okay. Good to know. Anything else from you?
No, that is everything.
Cool. Roland.
Alright, so I'll just step about there. And now I will shoot this guy.
Okay.
And I'll try and sharpshooter it. Because I'm going to try and do as much damage as I can. Does an 18 hit?
An 18 does hit, yep.
So 28 damage.
Nice, okay.
Because there's an ally within 5 feet of it.
Okay. Anything else?
Move back over here and hide. As a bonus action.
Okay. As you are like
29 still.
preoccupied with this creature, some of you may not notice this, but the strange still like fungus things seem to hoist up onto 3 like like spider-like legs and begin to move towards you.
Ugh.
And this is exactly why I hid.
Well, you're like 60 feet like away, so
So,
the mere fact that you're away,
yeah, you can
you
get
know,
there.
helps. God damn it!
One of them does reach just behind you there, Fizzle.
Well, I am a ranged character, so yeah, I try to stay
And
at
it
range.
kind of like, it's almost like it's nuzzling you. It like begins to rub itself on you.
No!
Oh, I think it
Hold
likes me.
on D4. So
No,
how
thank
many
you.
do I get? I get 3 of those. So,
the hell is this
1, 2, and 3. And I'm sorry to say, oh no, he doesn't get flanking. That's good. 1, 2, 3.
No, it's even worse. He's targeting someone who's restrained and on the ground.
No,
He's no
dude.
longer restrained.
I got
Oh.
freed.
Oh man.
Does a
you're free.
16
Thank
hit?
God.
That's exactly my armor class.
Okay, so you take 1, 2, and 3. So a 16. 16 necrotic damage. From this thing is like rubbing like itself on you. It's really bizarre to look. It's almost to anyone else looking, it's like it's trying to mount you.
Ow, somebody kill this thing! It's a lot of damage.
Sir Cavell.
All right. Let's see. Cavell moves behind the thing to get an attack with his longsword at advantage.
Yep.
Not that he needed it.
Yep.
And with that 12 slashing, I will cast Unwavering Mark, which means stuff. It has disadvantage to attack anyone other than me. And then I move in front of the creature next to Zartlam, and I use my action surge to take the bonus action, to take the dodge action.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Basically, just made it so it has disadvantage on attacking anyone.
Anyway.
Well, I was reading and I didn't hear, but then I processed it in my head, so.
You take the action surge to take the dodge action.
Yeah.
It kind of just like, again, like a predatory dog would do. It kind of scouts and speeds like over you, like through you, so it wants to be on the opposite side to you all.
Can I attempt an athletics check to stop?
You could try.
Can I help?
I assume that uses up my reaction, so. Alright, so do I get advantage from him helping, or is he making a separate check?
Let's do 2 separate checks. Because you're both.
Whoa.
27 for me.
Okay.
I'm not sure I need to roll, but
So
I have to
you're
produce
looking
some
to
feats
try
of
and
strength, so.
you're trying to like block him from going through. Sure. I will allow that, as it's pretty cool. Kind of goes to like, does almost like the American football kind of like dodge action, like dodging from side, but doesn't kind of find a place, and you stand firm. But it does, however, still try and lash at you. Both
How
at
dare
disadvantage.
you touch me?
with disadvantage.
Yeah. This time, however, it's 1 tentacle at Zartlam. And one. So does a. Oh Christ! That was double 24. 24 hit.
Yes, it does.
So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points of damage. That's 8 bludgeoning, 6 piercing.
I get to reduce 3 of it.
Wonderful.
So, sorry, what was the
And,
total?
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
8
14.
and 6, I think we hit.
So it's 8 damage, 8 bludgeoning and 6 of the piercing.
So I take 11. Also, my Armor of Agathis kicks in, and it takes 5 points of cold damage.
Nice, good to know. So 5 points of that.
Armor of Agathis X is temporary hit points, right?
Yep, so it also ate up 5 more points of damage. So I only actually took 6 damage from that.
Good,
Oh.
good. You are, however, now grappled and restrained.
Oh shit.
And the bite does a 22 hit.
Still at me?
No, at Gaval, sorry.
Yeah, 22
Disadvantage?
hits.
Disadvantage. It was a 24 and a 22.
God
God
damn
damn
it.
It rolled
It's
really
rolling
well,
like
that
I
roll.
am.
I need you to make. Well, first of all, let's do the damage.
Oh god.
So it's
Constitution.
13 points of piercing damage.
Yep.
I need you to make a Constitution saving throw DC 15.
All
Okay.
is
What, Diane?
I succeed.
Just see if it's half.
You have to make it a disadvantage. You fail.
What?
One moment, let me just see what this thing is. Every time. Okay, yeah. Must reduce the.
Disadvantage.
Well, it's not what I thought this was.
No. Okay, no, that's fine.
What did you think it was?
Shambling mound.
Well, I already saw the name.
And I haven't been doing it, but I'm going to do it this round because I've just read it. But he actually makes 3 attacks of opportunity. So the third tentacle does whip. The second tentacle does whip out and attempt to hit Fizzle because he's the third one there.
Oh no, disadvantage?
Because it's a reach of 10 feet, so you'd just be within that, and it would be at disadvantage. Does a 14 hit?
No, does not hit.
So you just fortunately missed that one. Okay. Fizzle.
I would like to. Can I take my disengage action to run away from these things?
You can try, yeah.
I would like to take the disengage action so they don't get attack as opportunity. I will drink my potion of Swiss Step now. That's been to the 5. What about there? 50 feet away.
Okay.
Action bonus, action movement. That's all. Can't
Okay.
do anything.
Zartlan.
Zartlan just grins at this thing and says, "Nice try," as he disappears from its grasp and reappears on the other side with his racial psionics Misty Step.
Yay.
Yeah.
And then I will hit this thing in the back 2 times.
Okay, go.
I've been waiting so long to get that.
It's like a bonus action ability or something.
Yes, it's a 2nd level spell, but Githyanki get it as a psionic effect at level 5.
So you can do it every turn?
Only once per day, unfortunately.
Okay.
But yeah, there you go. It is a really handy bonus action spell, though, because it basically is just like, oh, I'm just going to choose not to be grappled this.
Yep.
Okay.
Anyway, 2 attacks.
Yep.
At advantage.
Yeah.
Because flanking is useful.
Yeah.
I believe we already established the 20 hit, so.
Yep.
And I get to reroll 2 of those dice, 1 on each.
Okay, go for it.
Right, so the 2 stays the same, but the 1 gets replaced by a 6. So 11 and 14 for 25 slashing damage.
Nice. Yeah, you see like gauges of black, like dark green ooze like come out of like the side of its gullets and stuff as you make these incisions with your blade.
That's it for me.
Okay, Ronin. These weird purpley things now have really long, like gangly legs.
Sorry, what was that you cut out?
The glowing purple things now have like these 3 gangly like legs.
Okay, he's not within range of me though, is he?
Currently, no. He's 10 feet.
Okay. I will back up. Will I back up? I'm going to come and engage him with my punchy fist.
Punchy fist.
Uh-huh.
For 17.
Against the fungus thing, yeah.
Yeah, there's a purple thing.
Yep. You hit.
7. And I'm going to do that 2 more times. I'm just going to punch.
Okay, good.
22.
Yep.
And 12.
Oh, let me just double check that again. 12 does hit, yeah.
12 hits, okay. And I'm going to flurry of blows as
well. Third attack is your bonus action?
Let's do your damage first, because...
Okay.
Just so we don't waste your things unnecessarily. 7, 6...
So 15 and 7, 22.
You literally start punching. Like as you're punching, it's like a deflated balloon. It kind of like it becomes like softer the more you punch it, and it just kind of flops, and it's just like this heap of mess, like glowing purple mess on the floor.
Okay. And then I'm gonna back up a bit more.
Okay. Roland.
That's me.
What?
Alright, so... And I'm gonna shoot this thing from stealth.
Mm-hmm.
So I have advantage, sharpshooter. So 15, I think, hits.
Yep. On that, yeah, I'm not sure.
For 26 damage.
Yep, for 14 is this AC. Yep, that's fine.
And then I'll move back there and hide again.
You say 15 damage, was it?
26 damage.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. Your arrow, as it flies through, just seems to find its purchase like spot on. You see, from your perspective, Sir Cavall, like this arrow kind of like ricochets off your blade and like fits straight into this beast's eye, and you just see like this ichor of this dark green oozy blood pouring from its eye as it flomps to the floor.
Oh my.
And you just hear, I meant to do that.
However, it's now these strange violet creatures that begin to move towards you.
Come at me, I'm taking the dodge action. I did this, I planned for this.
Where are we? I had to evade these because they were so ridiculously short and speed. I was like, there's no way they're going to reach them. I'm going to give them weird gangly legs so they've got more movement.
Do they have like 10 feet usually?
5 feet usually.
Oh my god, that's so ridiculous.
I was just like, nah, they'd never get anywhere. One of those. Let me see how many attacks I get.
Considering the amount of damage it does,
One at you, Zartlam, and unfortunately that was max for multi-attack on you, Sir Cavall. So that's 4 attacks against you, Cavall, and 1 against...
Oh, thank God I took the dodge action.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total. 1 normal. Which misses you, Zartlam. 2 disadvantage. Does a 19 hit?
A 19 is exactly what you need.
Hey, that's one of those that managed to get through. For God's sake, you take one necrotic damage as this thing
Oh,
is rubbing up against you. It's like it's dry humping you. It's like
See?
lowering its
See?
belly and
Ah,
raising
no.
its chest against you.
Bloody hell.
It's just
I do
this.
not consent to this.
Yeah, this horrible translucent liquid is left in its wake. Okay, so Caval, he's two horrible beasts.
Jeez. Filthy, horrible beasts.
Bloody beast.
Second wind. 10 hit points.
Mhm.
I'm at 36. And I will strike you down, you filthy creature.
Smack.
Do I really want to? Yeah.
Yep.
12.
Hits.
9 slashing.
Yep.
And
That's
that's my turn.
Okay.
Yeah, I place myself here, and then that's my turn.
No worries. Okay. That's dead. Let's remove that.
Hey.
Fizzle.
Right. Wow, that was horrifyingly annoying and disturbing.
And you're
I would
covered
like
in
to-
this same translucent liquid from the one
Fuck.
before.
I would like to move a bit closer and then acid the crap out of this thing. Melt blasted goddamn creature. This is save of 16.
Okay. 9. So 9 damage as well. Wonderful.
9 damage is a 9!
9.
And I would also like to move back with the rest of my movement speed
Yeah.
again.
Cool.
That's about it. That's my turn.
Good goblin. Good.
I feel like a pet. So mortifying.
Is that lamb?
Now I'm gonna look at this thing that just tried to hit him, sneer, and take 2 attacks at it.
Okay.
How dare you try and attack my mighty race?
Yep. Both
Nothing
hits.
imposing advantage or disadvantage on this, right?
Not currently.
Does a 15 hit?
Yep. Literally has the worst AC I've come across.
I get to reroll one of those dice.
Does it have a 6 AC?
Has a 5 AC.
Oh my god.
Oh my god! Even on a nat 1, I would hit it.
So that is 14 on both, so 28 slashing damage.
Nice. Yeah. You literally just slice it up. It's like as you cut it, even though it's clearly some sort of fungus, it almost looks like served up sushi.
Like rolls inside.
Yeah, it literally
Layer.
just very delicately, the ringlets within the inner flesh of this weird sort of fungus form.
Now
Layered
imagining one of those
flesh.
anime moments where you see the guy sword blurring as he cuts out the fish, and there's just piles of sushi land on.
Yeah, exactly that.
Cha-ching!
Exactly that.
Oh!
If only I wielded a katana and not a great sword.
Aren't that katana super expensive?
Oh yeah, no, there.
Okay then.
And they're basically just flavored long swords, so it's not like they're even that great in 5e. In 3.5, they were amazing. In 5e, eh.
I don't know what the stats are.
Come on, guys. Ronin.
Oh, that's it for my turn, sorry.
So it's just this guy left.
Yep.
Yeah. it was
I'm gonna bonus action Kensai shot and then take 2 longbows at him.
okay.
Pew pew! Oh, that's on that one.
Oh no.
No.
It's like sticks in there, but there's like, it just sticks in there.
Go ahead and roll 1d20.
Roll a 1d20.
Weren't you making 2 attacks?
Yeah, I was just going to wait for
Okay.
this.
Your weapon breaks.
Because a nat one's still a nat 1.
Okay.
So 1, 4, good fair blade. Roll a strength athletics check, DC 15.
There'll be a 21 there, DM.
Yeah, good. Well done.
Athletics check, no, the strength save.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Athletics. Is it the same modifier?
Athletics, same modifier, +2.
Okay. Okay. If you have okay, no, that's fine. Luckily, as you use your weapon, it kind of almost like falls out of your grasp, and you kind of have to clamber with it, and you kind of almost drop your weapon.
Okay. Can I still take my second shot?
Yep.
Yep. Come on, that one.
23.
Yep, 23.
That's a 23.
Damages.
So that's a 10 and
The only way to miss it is to roll a nat 1. That's sad.
13 points of damage.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, you literally, again, you hear this.
Deflates.
As it deflates. Yes, darling.
Well,
Okay,
at
give me a
least
sec,
it
guys.
isn't
Let's
That
lose
was
some.
painful. Goblins. What am I saying? That was painful. Anybody need a heal? I certainly do.
Yeah, I could do with some healing.
Yep.
I'm good.
Let me just
Seems
heal
I'm more
myself.
worn out after working on the armor than I thought. I could use a bit myself.
Okay, give me just a second so I can heal myself.
Okay.
Who's next?
Yeah, I'll drink your healing draft.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll take one as well, please.
11 for Cavell. Now for Ronin, that'll be an 8.
8.
Zarlan will take the next one.
That'll be 18.
All the rolls for me tonight.
Well, whoever's lucky is lucky. Do keep in mind this will not work until tomorrow.
All right. I rummage around and see if there are human bodies or anything like lying
Yeah,
around.
go ahead and roll your investigation for me.
I'm horrible at investigation. Why am I doing this?
Well, I can help you out for instance.
While he does that, I'll do my own search.
I was gonna suggest we look for the bodies even though I
Yeah,
don't
sure.
expect.
So, as you look around, there's no immediate proof or signs of human life. But
I did my own search in that 20.
Roland, those as you're like searching through those like weird purple fungus things, you come across a human hand, and it's
Oh god!
but it's purple like the fungus. It's actually like half of this fungus.
Oi! Someone's really loud.
I'm like, hey, come here, Fizzle, I gotta show you something.
What do you want to show?
What is it?
And I moved the human hand to go towards his hand to shake.
Oh!
I'm not sure if that was supposed to disgust me or something, but the things I've seen were not really compared to this. I mean, doesn't really bother me.
I was just trying to scare you.
Well, I'm answering in character. Like that severed human hand doesn't really scare me.
It would this particular one would raise some concerns for you, as it is glowing the same purple as these fungus things that you have just.
It would raise an alarm. It wouldn't scare me. This means, by any chance, can we see in the others any other parts Is this basically a humanoid that's turned into a fungus, or is the fungus has eaten the humanoid?
You would have to do a really good intelligence check, I think.
Can I attempt to do that?
Yeah.
As a ex-Holy Knight, have I come across the servants
mediocre.
of Sugat Moi before?
Not like this.
Oh.
You've heard of like experiments with like transformations or like genetics, but not like this.
Yeah, because like the Sugat Moya is the demon queen of fungal demonic entities.
Yeah.
She just kind of like makes mushroom people.
Yeah, this doesn't seem to be like that.
All right.
Oh, so we'll expand the spell slot
This
to
seems to be
humans.
some sort of external. This is like a third party has been involved.
I share my concerns with the group that this may or may not be was a human or eat humans. Both are concerning.
But yeah, I mean that's generally all you kind of get from this area. You again sort of through that you see the road ahead from where you were. There's the sound of heavy rushing water. That sort of archway sort of gave off that there's like an additional room sort of in the further direction up towards this way, and that is yet to be looked into. But yeah.
Yeah, what's this way then? The still stream.
That lives with that one. One way to go.
Well, mushroom people. That's not very good.
We are hiding in roughly the same direction as Ronin saw them.
Yeah.
So as you look around and you pass this way, you can see that the way goes down. Sorry?
Mommy's asking you.
Mummy's asking me. Oh.
Why don't you take a sample of the mushroom?
I was.
Alchemists.
1 second. I was thinking of doing that, but the DM needs to step away for a second.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm thinking I know what's happening.
I don't yet, but I do wish to examine the shrooms when I have the chance.
Yeah, because like if you put the mushrooms in a soupy form as part of the
Oh god, hopefully that's
clammy
not the case.
dinner engagements.
Yeah, just everything's got a top.
But someone would still need to do that.
How old did the hand look? Do we know?
Dead?
Did it look like a younger person's hand or an older person's hand? As in, is it a hand for an old man?
So, no
Yeah, I suppose we'll find out when the GM gets back.
maybe we would require medicine. Not really good at those.
I mean, we could drag the corpse up, but it's like that we can do that on the way up.
Also, I don't think you'd mind you telling me now since it's dead, but the other thing we fought was an Otia.
Yeah, I saw the name in chat.
I saw the picture now.
Very common sewer creatures.
Yeah.
Mum's going around unplugging things just randomly. My mum's just going around unplugging things.
Because I'm just thinking like this whole campaign has been about demon powers and shit. So it's like, I mean, the basic of it.
So, I'll stop today.
Oh, for how much? I suppose it's not the end of the world.
These are the creatures that I mentioned for waste disposal.
Alright, okay. What are we doing? No, you need the rest of your track, darling. Go and get it, it's in your room. Oh, I will. Yeah, and we have been, so... Yeah. Alright.
Is this yours?
Yes.
Society
I know. Alright, love you. Right. Okay, bye.
Son!
Who's son?
Where's son?
Sean the sheep.
Should we...
Okay, sorry guys. So, how are you proceeding?
We had some questions.
Go for it.
These strange gooey creatures. Is it an old person's hand or is it a?
If you're looking at the red fungus on the walls that seem to be scattered throughout this sewer system, they do just seem to be just regular fungus. But if you want to do an investigation check, you might learn a bit more about them as such. But yeah, I mean, in appearance they look like regular fungus, but they glow red.
Specifically, I would like to get some samples to test out later.
Sure.
What
So
should I do?
you can do a nature check to try and grasp some samples.
Okay.
And you could do if you want to try and learn. If it's high enough, I can give you the information to what they might or might not be.
Let's
or you can
try
just
and
do a
do
history
that.
check based on knowledge if you want.
That's a 11, so probably not.
Yeah, I mean, you manage to still like pick some off, but you kind of lose the top of the cut, like the cap of the fungus. It kind of falls away, and it kind of does break in your hand. But you manage to obtain like a palm full of this fungus. It
Into the
smells
bag of
really fishy.
Bag of holding.
And I mean, it's dry like fungus would be. It doesn't seem to be giving like any kind of reaction, but it doesn't look like a fungus that you've seen before.
Should be tested. Fish.
Oh, poor sheep.
Is it possible to climb down next to where Roland is?
This
You
looks
can
like
climb
a
down to this way, but it's a 10-foot drop, so getting down isn't a problem. It would be getting back up might be a bit trickier, especially as the water is running down. So any attempts to climb back up would be probably at a disadvantage without
How
aiding.
high is it?
It's about 10-15 feet.
Ah.
It's kind of hard to see by like in terms of depth of the water below. I mean, looking at a distance, you'd probably say, "Oh, yeah, that's about 10 feet."
Do we have spikes?
It's doing backflips.
Climbing.
Does anyone have pythons in their starting pack?
I have ropes.
Yeah, but we need a thing to attach it to.
I mean, if nothing else, I have Zartlem has the 2 potions of climbing, but this seems like kind of a waste for them.
Yep.
Would my ring of swimming help me get up the waterfall if I went down?
No, that would just help you
No.
with swimming.
Okay.
I
Can
think,
any-
I
can
think
any-
it's fine. Once we have a person, if we help someone with disadvantage get up, then it's a regular roll.
We could.
So this is just fine. It just takes time.
We're talking about going down or going up, right?
If only we had a druid, then they could just polymorph into a salmon and get up just fine.
Oh, if several people attempt to boost someone on the bottom side that's a bit stronger, they can, help with the rope.
Yeah, because what I'm thinking is we lower people down, the rogue and etc., and we start exploring. And when we try to go back up, we just simply.
Or we could just tie a rope somewhere and leave it here.
No, we don't have anything to tie it to.
The rope is long. Should be able to.
Or we can just climb down and
We can just climb down. It's fine.
Let's climb down and worry about getting up.
So,
later.
To
are
be
you
honest-
going down first, or are you going up first?
You
Wait,
think
there's an up?
There's an up.
Yeah, so you've got the room ahead of you. You can only see like
Oh.
the archway ahead of you, which is here,
I'd
and
say
then that way. So there are your 2 options.
Easier to climb up than easier to climb down than to climb up. Might as well get the up out of the way first.
I was thinking something similar as well.
Yep.
Looking skinnier.
Okay. So as you get closer to that archway, will you do a perception check or the looking?
Yeah, we have the rogue go ahead first.
Yep.
So,
Stealth check and shit.
Roland, why don't you take charge?
Oh, he's got all skinny.
Yeah. Do you want to do your stealth check as well?
Yeah, I got a 21.
Holy blasted son of a Bollocks.
So you manage to stealth and you move into this room. Can you just do a general perception check of the room once you're there?
Same modifier.
That's
except the wrong thing.
plus.
You do see there are these 5 like glowing red, almost fungusy looking things, but they look like they're about 6 foot in height. They're about 5 foot probably wide.
So
and
these could be the humans we're looking for. I guess.
it almost looks like they're pods of sorts.
Yeah.
Can I get some food
I
for
motion
him
the people
then,
forward.
please, Daddy?
What are you after?
Food for him.
What do
Food
you
for
see?
him? You've got his food in the basket.
Oh boy.
I just do a shh, and I motion 5.
Well, we all know this. We're not good at sneaking, so
Yeah, that's why I'm getting over here first, and then I motion you forward.
well, I was talking to the rest of the party that's behind. We're not really good at sneaking. What do we do? Enter the room?
We face our
Does
enemies.
Ronan at least want?
I mean,
Does
Yeah,
Ronan at least want to try?
Ronin, with
Yeah,
your
I'm-
11 perception, you can't see that there's
Yeah,
anyone in
we
the
don't know
room,
what's happening.
So, or anything.
Can I attempt to sneak in with my bow ready?
I saw the pods, right? So I
Yeah, you see these pods.
5.
But yeah,
I don't know
anyone
if
can
they're
attempt
enemies or not,
a stealth. It's absolutely up to you.
I've got my bow ready as well.
Okay. You can also not stealth, and you can just go in there casually if you really want to.
No, with a 20, I'd like to stealth him.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
We're just
While
gonna
you
wait
enter
for-
the room, you can do a perception check as well.
Oh yeah, I just got a dirty 20.
Okay.
Now the 3 of us, on the other hand, we're probably just gonna go in.
Yeah,
Casual.
normal. Like, just walk behind. I'm gonna walk behind you too, pretty much.
So do you want to
Yeah.
do your perception checks as you enter? I just want to see who might notice what.
Okay, perception.
That would be a 23 perception.
Yeah.
Okay.
As the other guys enter, you can
Val
see
sees his boots.
Sir Cavell goes in with his hands over his eyes.
you can see Ronan that there is these 5 pods, these glowing like fungusy looking pods, 4 of which seem to be broken open recently. So they look hollow. There's like this crack and crevice within this like pod looking thing, and there's like an empty cavity within the walls of these pods. There's also piles of like belongings. There seems to be like 3 separate piles of belongings of all sorts of ranges. There's a series of coins and like items, clothing and things like that. But for now, guys,
Totally click that.
for now, guys, I'm going to call it a day. As you
Alright.
reach the room I intended you on reaching today. And we will continue this next session.
Exercise,
Very well.